We get to nervously watch that number now.
Yeah.
See if they all come back.
That's all right. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll
See if
be
they all
fine.
come back.
Morrison's are hiring, so it's fine.
Not quite the same. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us on what has been an okay-ish Tuesday here. It's been a hybrid return to work day for me today. I'll explain all in a moment, but thank you so much for coming back. If you have returned, if you're new, welcome. Please make sure you smash all of those magical YouTube buttons for us. Hit the like button if you enjoy the comment, if you enjoy the content. Smash subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon if you want to be notified whenever we go live or drop a new video. Or you can become a member of the Great Hall. Come and join us in Discord, at which case we will also notify you when we go live or drop a new video. And we notify you when we schedule a brand new stream. And we scheduled this stream at like 4:30 this afternoon because we didn't go to the studio today. I know it's Tuesday. I know it's supposed to be a live game of AOS. I wasn't ready. I'll explain. We finished streaming on Thursday, and I did a thing that I haven't done.
Who's this guy?
She's loud.
Who's this guy?
Who's this guy?
Hey, is that
Thanks,
my
Pritters,
guy?
for the 5. Thanks for kicking us off, Pritters, with the £5 donor. What a legend. We did a thing that I haven't done in forever, with the exception of Christmas. So normally, when we're streaming, we take off Christmas Eve to New Year's Eve. We take that week off, and only that week off, for the whole year, right? We finish on Christmas. Well, we finish normally at least the day before Christmas Eve because that's my birthday, Christmas Eve. We do Christmas Day, we do Boxing Day. We have that Christmas break off because I assume you're all going to be hanging out with your families and opening presents and making Lego and building models and painting and drinking and being merry. And then on New Year's Eve, we come back for a big mammoth stream.
Yeah.
We go live at like 9:30 in the evening and we see it through till past midnight.
And then, if we're lucky, one of the alarms goes off at work,
Yeah.
and then Liam has to find a way to get there because he's half cut.
Normally, just after midnight, when completely shit-faced, the work alarm goes off and the
then-
alarm company says, we're not going.
And then you go to work, and I say, "Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
I'm going to bed."
Yeah, that's what happened this last year. But typically, for the last couple of years at least, since going full-time, it was literally the only time off we had. Now, we've missed streams before for different bits and pieces, events, etc. Not strictly time off, but we've missed streams here and there. What I've never done, ever, since streaming is gone, I need a dedicated holiday, I need some time off. I don't know if you guys had noticed towards the end of last week and the weeks leading up to it, I feel like I looked exhausted on every single stream all the time. I just always looked exhausted. I was like, I need a break. I need some time off. And so about a month in advance, I planned to take 4 days break of no streaming, no businessing, nothing. Now, I'll confess right now, I didn't fully achieve that. There was some businessing going on, there was some working going on, but it was really minuscule and it was like not under any pressure, so it was kind of quite nice, right? But I got to midway through yesterday. We've also been suffering with man flu in the house over the course of the last week. Luce has suffered significantly worse than I have in terms of like coughs, etc. But we've not really felt run down, but it's definitely been there. And I got to midway through yesterday, I was like, I'm not ready to do a full day in the studio as my first day back.
I would love to know, because your brain creates toxins throughout the day, and then when you sleep, your spinal fluid washes over your brain and gets rid of all the toxins and such. I would love to know the depletion of stress toxins to do with things like work. At what point through a week off do you
feel
start?
rested?
Yeah, does your brain start to kind of not have any of those toxins still floating around because your stress levels are consistently low versus being consistently high?
So I felt like I wasn't quite there yesterday. So I spoke to Joe and I was like, Joe, have another day at home painting. I'm going to have a hybrid return to work. What I mean by hybrid return to work? Well, we still worked today. We did work. I didn't work sat here at the desk. I've worked on some projects. I've worked on another business concept. I've got ready for this evening's stream. We're streaming tonight because I wanted to get back to streaming, but I didn't want to do that by going straight back into the studio and doing a full day Liam and Joe show game of AOS. I said to him, look, I'd rather you stayed home and I eased myself back into it, right?
Or was it because I was rotated on to be on the deck and you thought, she'll fucking tank us? We can't let her do it.
Because there's other people that could come and run the deck.
We can't risk it.
If I'd have yesterday lunchtime decided not to stream AOS and I wanted to still stream AOS, but I just didn't want you, I would have easily found someone that could run the deck. It wouldn't have been a problem.
Would you be sat there like, how do I tell her
How well do you know me?
Without.
How well do you know me? Or we'll be like, Lisa, it's our first one back. Fuck that.
You ruin it. You're not doing it.
Which is not the case, by the way. So, and I feel like today, I said to Luce, today is a hybrid day. So we're doing an evening stream after some working at the desk today. And then tomorrow is another day which Luce's day off, so I stay at home and I stream in the evening. And then Thursday we're back in the studio and we ramp up to Thanes weekend. I was like, this is a nice way to return back to work. And I get the luxury of doing it, right? This is what we've done. We've got Talking Head stream for you wonderful people tonight. We can talk about whatever you want. I originally titled the stream, We're Back, What Did We Miss? And this is why she's not running the deck. And then I looked on Warcom and looked on GW, which I hadn't done over the last weekend, and I was like, oh, we missed fuck all. There's literally nothing to cover apart from another one of their fantastical roadmaps. Less said on that, the better. At least it was for a game that no one really plays. Prentice, thank you for the 5. Luke87, thank you for the 1 gifted. Yarl Grimnar, thank you for the 1 gifted. Boldrick, thank you for the 5 gifted. Mordy Hammer, thank you for the 1 gifted. Loose, it's a Tuesday. So it's not a Wednesday or a Friday.
Right.
But it's also not a Monday.
Okay.
Are we getting news?
Oh, yeah.
Yes or no? Because it's a Tuesday, so you wouldn't normally do it. But it's not hobby night.
Let me see.
And are we getting loose hopes for 20 gifteds?
Yeah.
Okay, right, there you go.
Okay.
Joe's been working on Chaos Space Marine Predators and Fabulous Build. Well, yeah, so Joe's been having his little heart crushed whilst playing Warhammer 40k. So we have alleviated some of his problems by buying him the stuff that he needs to potentially make his Chaos Space Marines, in his words, more competitive. Namely, some obliterators, well, some counts as obliterators because he doesn't like the actual obliterator models, some predators and a couple of other characters and stuff. We have to keep Joe happy, right? That's one of the most important things. I'd be working as usual on Xmas Day. Oh, what do you do? What do you work? What do you do for work, Chris? Evening, welcome back. Thanks. I'm actually excited to get back. Today's a good day to come back. It's an exciting week actually. So we've got a normal Warhammer show tomorrow evening. Thursday is a normal stream schedule, but slightly different streams. So Thursday lunchtime will be Liam Learns Heresy with John McCardle returning back to the studio. Thursday evening is Liam Plays Heresy, World Eaters, Heresy World Eaters versus Alpha Legion live on the channel. And we're doing something exciting, chat. We're doing something exciting. On Thursday is the first ever, I don't know any other 40k channel that's done this, first ever live studio audience.
I'm so excited for you.
I'm excited and terrified at the same time.
Well, that's good. I think that's good. Because it's out of your comfort zone. You can't stay in your comfort zone for too long because then you won't grow and you won't try new things. So it's good.
This is a thing that I want to become a ticketed event in the future that you can buy tickets for if it goes well eventually, where you can come and turn up, hang out with the team, predominantly Joe and I. Well, this isn't happening this Thursday, people, don't get excited, but we have got something in place. We take you for dinner, we come back to the studio, etc., etc. We do a show, blah, right? That's what we want to do in the future. We're trialing it with the Thanes this weekend because a lot of people are down anyway, because we've got this weekend no Friday night stream because we've got the Thanes Spearhead weekend, which is another thing that we'd like to do more frequently, where we ticket a weekend and you turn up and buy a Combat Patrol or a Spearhead box and you just basically come and hobby for the weekend and hang out in the studio with the team, etc. I'd like to do that more frequently. How frequently, I don't know, but we'd like to do it more frequently. And so we're using this as a trial for a live studio audience, and I don't yet know how it's going to work, but we'll see. If we have a live studio audience, as per opportunity to shout out Gamble, can at some point have the opportunity to shout out Gamble as per Bullseye. This is the thing, Luton, right? At the moment, I don't know how I evolve the live studio audience participation. The first thing I want to nail this Thursday is having 8 people watching live, does it work? And the answer is fucking who knows. But does it work? We'll see. I already feel like I need an extra screen in the studio, so when they're watching, they also get to see what's on the screen. But I don't have a screen right now, and I've spent far too much catering for the Thanes weekend, so we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, if you are making your way down this week, please travel safely. Look forward to seeing you. I'm super excited for this weekend. Thank you so much, Mordy Hammer, for the 1 gifted. I think I did you already. Si, thank you for the 1 gifted. Christopher Sam for Police Station Gloucester, thank you for the 1 gifted. We are up to a mighty... Evan, thank you for the 5 gifted, you hero. We're up to a mighty 15 members, chat, already. If we could do Friday, Monday, Tuesday lunchtime, if we could do 400 tonight, it'd be great. Because that'd make up for like the last four nights, isn't it? That's how it works, right? I take the time off, you make it up when I get back.
No, that's not the deal.
I think it's the deal. I think that's how that works. Yeah, I got to work out. I've got a mic. I've got some mic things in my cupboard down here, so I reckon I can use one of them like a. I haven't got a handle. I wonder if I can buy a handle for it. Talk about yourselves. I'm going to Amazon shop for a minute.
Oh, your members bar's green now.
Yeah, I changed it.
What was wrong with yellow?
Nothing. I'm trying to keep them fresh, loose.
Why green?
DJI Mic 2 handle? Should we go handle? Interview handle. Ooh. Ooh.
Breaking news, chat. I have changed what tea bags I buy.
Yeah, you're all going to be disappointed, so don't get too excited here, right?
It used to be Yorkshire tea. Because
this is why you're all going to be disappointed. I'm warning you now.
they'd be the only decaf ones I could reach on the shelf. But recently, the Tetleys have come lower down. So now it's Tetleys.
I've told you you'd be disappointed.
I know, you're all gripped, aren't you? Never thought. No one ever thinks of Tetley tea bags. They all say Yorkshire tea or PG Tips. They never think of Tetleys.
Movo. Movo looks like a brand. So what you do is you put the... Does it say DJI Mic Series? It does. Ah. That could work, maybe. That might work. We might have an option here. We might have an option.
I'm so bored of this cough.
You are?
Do I cough when I sleep?
No.
Oh.
No, I'd have kicked you out.
So there's a good solid 8 hours where I'm not coughing then.
Yeah. Do a Google search for long pole. We could do, yeah, couldn't we? That would be funny. I think I'm going to get this one. I think this one will work. Bye. It's very cheap, so it's fine. I'll tell it tomorrow. We'll test that one tomorrow. Good, beautiful. Problem solved. And then the idea being is that we plug in the receiver to mic port 4. Because mic port 1 and 2 are the players, mic port 3 is a deck. Plug in the receiver to mic port 4. I have the wireless transmitter over by the side of the table, and we can turn it on and go over and go.
Yeah.
Tell us your bank details. Like that, right?
Yeah. What's that PIN number again? We didn't get it.
If you've got ideas for live studio audience participation, that's relatively sensible. Because you lot are mostly lunatics. Please let me know. Please let me know. Decaf. Yeah, Lucy's a decaf person.
Yeah, I'm a
mead person.
I had really weird heart rhythms during, I think, lockdown 1. And the doctor found something called supraventricular tachycardia. And apparently caffeine is not my friend.
No.
So I can have 1 caffeinated drink a day and then it's decaf.
I drink coffee until about 2-3 o'clock. And then I have 1 cup of tea normally in the evening after dinner. And that's about it.
Loose proper Yorkshire tea bags fun.
Round the clock, thank you for the 5.
See, Yorkshire tea is nice, but it's definitely a builder's brew tea bag.
YouTube.
If you leave it in the pot for too long, it's like treacle.
YouTube's not tracking super chat revenue on the thingy. It's saying it's 0, despite the fact it clearly isn't 0. That's a problem. Why is it not tracking it, Luce?
Maybe it's on holiday. It doesn't know. Well, it's a Tuesday. We don't normally do it from here on a Tuesday, so maybe it's just not ready.
People notice as well that the new colour for the members bar is Dark Angels Green.
Oh.
Because that's the current project I'm working on.
I thought it was like gangrene green.
No, I'm going to change the project. I'm going to change the members bar based on which project I'm working on at the time. You've just knocked your cable.
Oh, sorry, chat. Sorry.
We'll have a little break, chat, but some things never change. You could give away water bottles in the shape of Nidhogg and Mead bottles. Why would I do that? My intent is to just give away Nidhogg and Mead bottles.
How would Liv guest super chat or give gifts?
I'm sure you'll figure out a way, Big Bad Peter Gaming. I've fucking no idea. I haven't figured that problem out because We've got a card reader.
I know.
But I don't trust Joe to go over there and program a card reader to take your money properly.
You'd probably end up giving money.
Yeah.
How have I refunded? I don't understand.
I was meant to give a 50 quid super chat, but I've just been refunded 50 quid. It's like, how have you been refunded something you haven't paid me in the past?
Oh, look at that. The studio's closing. Well done.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have a card reader, but that would be a bit weird, wouldn't it? I don't know how we're going to figure that problem out. Supraventricular tachycardia is very hard to spell. Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, it is. But do you know, when they diagnosed me with that, I only had the heart monitor on for 24 hours, and they caught 7 episodes. And you have to write down when you're eating, because your heart reacts differently anyway when you're eating. So those 7 episodes were away from eating times. And when I said to the doctor, can I wear it for a week then? Because this is a lot for just 24 hours. And they said no. I thought, just send me back home with it now. I have it now. Just send me back home with it. But no.
Didn't want that later. Wasn't interested.
No, it wasn't interested. Took another 3 years.
We could get
autoimmune stuff.
We could get John McArdle for the night to wear a thong over his trousers, and then people could just go up on camera and stuff money in his thong.
You might send a message with that.
Because it's John, it's like that's how it feels, John.
Is it?
I'm really annoyed that the super chat revenue total isn't working on YouTube, by the way.
Why?
Because I don't like not being able to see my numbers. It annoys me. I have no idea how well the stream's performing.
Tuck a tenner into Joe's waistband, and he has to memorize your message, which you whisper in his ear.
Super chat Chinese whispers would be fucking great, by the way. We'll have to line all the people up in one flat line, which is not originally intent. The person on the end has to then whisper it in the person's ear. It goes through 8 people before it gets to Joe, and then he reads out the final iteration of Chinese Whisper Super Chat.
There's another version of Chinese Whispers. You put
Studio audience to go to the cash point and get £5 notes to throw at you.
Love you, Panda. I appreciate it a lot, but I don't like cash. I'm like the polar opposite of loose. I hate cash.
Oh, I love cash.
I'm like card only. When people are like cash only shop, I'm like, I don't understand. What do you mean? What's this horrible papery stuff you're showing at me?
There's another version of Chinese Whispers where somebody wears ear defenders and then somebody stands across the room and just says a normal talking voice, just says a sentence, but the ear defenders obviously block out the noise. So it typically works better with men because I think ear defenders generally block out more bassy noises than pitchy noises.
It doesn't work very well when you play my brother.
Yeah, he's already partly deaf.
Partially deaf, so he lip reads.
He was staring at when he first met me. He used to stare at my mouth when I spoke because I didn't realise that the Midlands accent.
You talk funny.
Yeah, I talk funny.
You talk funny, yeah.
And I remember saying to you, "Your brother's staring at me."
He'd also never really seen a woman, you know. So, yeah. With the exception of our own mother, he wasn't aware what a young lady looked like. So.
Yes, he was.
Hey, we'll see. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. But can't I just use the mobile phones? Yes and no. Like, can you use your mobile phone to super chat or gift on stream live from the studio? 100% you can. If you have an iPhone, would I discourage you from gifting memberships? Yeah, I probably would because Apple tax. But it's a chance I have to take with the people that are coming to try and make it a fun experience and be like, you know what? In the future, we'll tick. In the future, we'll ticket the event. This is, by the way, part of the reason why we're not doing the show in the studio because that would be your deck.
But I am leaning as far away from the microphone.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not as hard. It doesn't look like it's as harsh.
Without falling out of my chair.
Yeah. I mean, your chair's falling apart.
It's fine. My chair is fine. Who was it that also poked holes in my chair?
Everyone that's seen it.
Somebody sat here and went loose for Christ's sake.
Was it Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it might be.
He sat there figuratively tearing apart my chair.
Chinese Whisper Joe chat would be amazing. I think it'd be quality. That'd be awesome. Or we'll get post-it notes attached to Nerf guns.
No, that would have just hurt.
But paying card devalues your money every transaction. Yeah, no, so I get it, right? I understand that cash is better financially for everybody, with the exception of the banks. The banks only are the ones that profit from paying by card. I just don't like. I like having one piece of plastic, and that's how I deal with everything. And I can't fucking stand carrying change around. I hate it. I think it's just part. Honestly, I think it's just part of my tism. I just don't like carrying change. I've never liked carrying change. Never liked it. I've always got home from anything I've ever. Because younger, I used to do a lot of paying with cash because my parents were quite typically quite keen for paying with cash. I didn't do a lot of card transactions. My dad, to this day, is a person who only until about 6 months ago just didn't trust online banking at all. Like at all, didn't trust it whatsoever.
Luce's Bum Support Fund.
Bum support.
Tony, thank you for the $50. We need more than that, though, mate. My parents just didn't love cash. They weren't fans of cash. Card. Weren't fans of card at all. They were cash only. And I did that when I was growing up, and I was horrific for pay for something, come home with pocket full of change and some notes. Notes go back in wallet. Change used to get chucked on the side or put in a pot. I couldn't take it back out again. So I found out that actually my spending was arguably less efficient because every time I went out again, I'd be taking fresh notes. I wouldn't ever take the change with me. So I used to have just pots of change lying around. And I'm fucking far too lazy to go to the bank and get that changed back into notes to go into my pocket. So,
do you know what I used to do when we'd been married for a few years by this point? Because I always felt really unsure when I'd hear other wives going through their husband's pockets for the laundry, because you'd always empty jean pockets before you put them in the machine, and then they'd put their husband's change in their purse. I'd think, oh, that's a grey area if ever I've come across one. Yes, it's your together money, but So then when I start to come across your change, I used to change it back to notes and put it back in your wallet.
which is fine. I can live with that.
And you never once went, oh, there's a tenner in here. Oh.
Well, that's the other reason
never...
why. That's the other reason why I don't like cash. I feel like I have less. Like I can't track it as easily.
Yeah.
Like when everything's done on my bank card, I can open my app and look at every single fucking transaction and work out exactly what I'm spending and see where it's going. I like that level of control.
Yeah.
But I do get the fact that it devalues the cash and that the bank is the only people that make profit. I understand that fully.
I can't keep up with the booping of the card because I'll try it mentally to go, right, I've just spent that, so hold that number. I can't. Since I don't know, maybe since that first bout of COVID, my capacity for long-term memory just is not the same anymore.
Guy says, I was in the chippy, I gave them a tenner. They said, sorry, I haven't got any fivers for change, so don't worry, keep it as a tip. I can't deal with jiggling walking down the road. Yeah, 100%.
I'd stand there and
We
be
could do a
like,
chippy.
change is fine.
We could do a chippy tea tomorrow. I haven't had a proper fish and chips for ages.
Lies, I made you fish and chips a couple of weeks ago.
From the chippy.
What's wrong with my fish and chips?
It's far too nice.
So you want shit fish and chips?
It's not the same. Fish and chips isn't the same unless you feel like your body's been abused.
That's exactly the reason why you shouldn't eat it.
Oh, Plague of Shadows, thank you for the 5 gifted. What a fucking hero. Up to 20 members. I was playing with a new stream toy today, chat. I can now... I saw Adrian last Wednesday. I saw him stream with his phone screen on screen so he could look at like lists and stuff. I made that a thing today. I made that a thing that I can do on my stream now. Pouring a fucking teapot at 5 to 8 at night, honestly.
Yeah,
so we now have the capability. Would you be interested in ever, I don't know when, but would you be interested in ever doing like list reviews or list building type things on the channel? If you are against it, I spent an hour of my life today for nothing. If you think it could be fun, then we're good. If you have a second mic by Joe, audience members could help out with Joe wishes. I've just bought an interview mic, but there is absolutely no way on this earth I'm letting anyone who isn't a normal stream team member having permanent access to a microphone during a stream.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. It's not worth. I don't care how well I know people. I don't care if they have the best intentions at heart. Not worth it, especially with live television. It's a bit different when you can edit it out. It's different with live television.
Dave WK says.
Does he?
If you had to create a new 40k faction, what would you do? My idea is space minotaurs that herd space whales across the galaxy mid-size or point cost.
I'm into it, Will. I'm into it. I would go some kind of arachnoid type race. 8-limbed. I'd like that concept. Like a General Grievous type thing, but 2 legs, 2 arms. some evil, like almost tyranny, but not quite tyranny, less like mindless. That's what I've been to.
Dave says, so I don't drink hot drinks and hate fish and chips. At this point, I don't think I'm English.
You don't drink any hot drinks at all, Dave, and you hate fish and chips. Do you like a good roast dinner and a fry up?
Yeah, that could save you.
That could save you,
Yeah.
or the traditional English dish of a curry. List building for you sounds fun. List building Eldar Tower was great. List reviews would be good. So I did a thing. Right, let me show you. Okay. Let me show you. Logically, this is going to work, but we'll see. Let's see if I can make it work live on stream. So logically, look at this, right? Here's the new thing that I made. Yeah, it looks like a phone because that's how much of a fucking nerd I am. We can go back and we can look live at lists on my phone. I'm such a fucking geek, by the way. Mm-hmm. How cool's this? We can look at live rules now. We can do. I can potentially add the assets to the stream setup in the studio as well, and we can look at live rules on stream. How good's this? Stick Monkey, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. What a legend. John McCardle. Thank you for the 50 gifted memberships. 50 loose. You made a cough. It's so big, you made a cough.
I hope for you, John, that.
It needs to be bigger. We can do that. Keep going, loose.
Yeah, I did think it could be bigger earlier, but I didn't want to say.
You've said that so many times. I'm just so used to it.
I didn't want to. I thought it might be a touchy subject.
Oh.
I hope for you, John, that you never run out of clean pants.
That's a great wish, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Cool as shit. Might need to be slightly bigger.
How's that for size, chat? How's that look? That's readable, right? I even made it a phone. I haven't.
Better.
I'm half-mast. Not going to lie.
I haven't quite fixed it right now. I've zoomed it in. If you look at the bottom corner, there's a little bit of grey overlay here that I need to fix somehow. I'm not sure how I do that. I have to figure that one out. But I thought I'd give this a go to try and there's a bit of grey overlay here as well. Actually, what happens if I go into an army list? Does it stay grey? Because army builder. Because if it stays grey, I can just change the colour of that back box to grey. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Demo Gorgon, thank you for 50 gifted memberships. We're going to hit the 400 that we need to make Friday, Monday, and this afternoon not a problem.
I hope for you, Kev, that you never run out of your favourite shower gel while you're in the shower.
Strong.
See, there's nothing worse than being like, I need a shower, I'm going to chill out when I'm in the shower, and you're there shaking the bottle and the tiniest bit comes out, and that's never going to do it. It's never going to do it.
Never run out of pants.
Never run out of your favourite shower gel.
Never run out of favourite shower gel.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a what's the word?
Theme?
A pattern. Yeah, a pattern
See,
here.
if I knew the hair length of all of our fine gifters, I would say to them, I hope you never run out of conditioner while you're in the shower. Nothing worse than already having shampooed and there's no conditioner.
So
I need getting a brush through that.
I need to do some work on the thingy because what if you notice the black background that I made it is because the phone screen is a rectangle like shape that it pulls out, but yeah, the phone shape is. What I don't want to do is just put the phone screen on the screen. I want to have the phone screen on the screen and make it look like a phone because I like high production value. So at the moment, the backdrop is black. If I change the backdrop to be the same grey as the top and bottom borders of the Warhammer 40k app, and then at the same time, I managed to make it the exact right shape to fit round the phone, we've nailed it.
Who would make a better app? A multi-billion-dollar company redesigning a website to be functional, or one streaming lad.
Probably the streaming lad like nowadays, to be fair.
Do you know what time it is?
Huh?
Do you know what time it is?
Ba 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 bum bum ba bum.
World Conker Championships men's winner cleared of cheating.
Who cheats at conkers?
So it turns out David Jakins, known as King Conker, kept a steel chestnut in his pocket.
You know the hair length. Little to none.
Oh, there we go. So, shower gel then. He kept a steel chestnut in his pocket for humour value.
Okay. But didn't actually...
No.
Didn't use it.
So, known as King Conker, won the tournament in Southwick, Northamptonshire last Sunday for the first time after competing since 1977. His long-awaited victory was marred when a cheating scandal erupted after a fake steel conker painted brown was later found in the veteran competitor's pocket.
Oh.
His opponent in the final, Alistair Johnson-Ferguson, told the Daily Telegraph he raised concerns after his conker disintegrated in one hit. That just doesn't happen.
It does. I play conkers.
And the two conkers, the real one and the steel one, were identical except for the weight. But apparently he's been cleared of cheating. So if you were ever wondering, chat, about this year's World Conker Championships, I hope I have cleared that up for you.
How recently was this?
Sunday?
I don't think Demo Gorgon's particularly happy with his wish, by the way.
Why?
I feel like he's a person who doesn't use a lot of shampoo.
No, I said shower gel.
Same. Okay. All right. Okay. So shower gel's fine, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to work out like. I'm trying to work out. Stick Monkey says, you know, the hair length, little to none. What you're on about?
Lord of Cinder, the fuck is a conker?
You have conkers in America, land,
yeah,
surely.
it's from a chestnut tree, isn't it? A conker. It's they grow like spiky green balls, and then if you can open them, usually with a car key, because you're out and about walking the dog, there's a conker in it, and then you tie a string through the middle of the conker.
You drill a hole through the conker, put a shoelace through it, and tie a knot in the end, and you fucking hit each other's conkers.
Yeah. But I think
everything in Britain's about being brutal.
I can't remember if you are or are not allowed to do things like soak your conker in things to make it tougher, or if that's not allowed.
The fuck is a horse chestnut? Yeah, honestly, people, come on, these. This is not strange stuff, all right? Oh, Wee Man's grey. Is YouTube fucking you around as well, Wee Man? It's very possible. It's very possible. YouTube drops people's membership sometimes and then picks it back up literally a day later without you having any idea whatsoever. You Brits and your made-up sports. I don't think so, Star.
Lord of Cinder's still the fuck.
I know. Is there a real thing, Americans? Right, you fuckers.
Oh wow, we've stumbled onto something here.
Oh, this is not what I expected. Images. Conkers, right, okay.
You
good.
probably call them something different, you Americans.
Yeah. I can't shoot it. This is a conker. Alright? And this here is the sport of conkers. Look at these little children. See? That's what they do. Is you hold your conker up and your opponent fucking wangs their conker at you and tries to break your conker by hitting conker to conker, and then it's your turn and you keep taking it in turns.
You're not allowed to like do a full arm stretch and then whack it down. I think you have to only...
Look at this man, look at him. Look how good he is at conkers.
You can only extend from the elbow, I think.
We are showing this, aren't we? Yeah, good, okay. I just suddenly thought I was shouting at conker screens and it wasn't on the screen. It's conkers, look. He's playing conkers. Look, I searched conkers once. Look at all these things that come up. You fucking heathens. There you go. There's one with a string tied to it. There it is.
There he is. Conker, King Conker.
Yeah.
In the green jacket and the hat. That's him.
Was he the one that got accused of cheating?
Yeah. That's him. There he is.
The World Conker Championship men's winner. World Championship men's winner, chat. Look.
Show some respect, please. Years of training has gone
World
into this.
Conker Championship men's winner. Cleared of cheating. There we go. I found Lucy's article. Look at him. He means fucking business, that bloke.
Yeah. All about the conkers.
There you go. Look, here he is, conquering. That's how you do it. See? No, the thing is, wee man, right, is you've probably got a membership. You almost definitely haven't not got a membership. So what you do is you say, yeah, everybody snipe me, because they can't snipe you. They physically can't snipe you because you've got a membership. At which point, everyone keeps trying to snipe you. We get loads of members. We're super happy. You're still green. Everybody's golden. Think about it, wee man.
Britain never fails to surprise me anymore.
I don't understand. This isn't... Blow their minds with cheese chasing. Yeah, I know, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
in Gloucestershire.
Yeah, cheese chasing.
Cheese
Where you chase
chasing.
cheese down a hill. You know about the cheese chasing, right?
And there's the wife carrying race.
Harder nowadays. It's a harder sport in 2024. Shit, sorry, my lord. It's all about a game, wee man, right? All about a game. I've set the new target to 200, which will cover off this afternoon and today. It won't cover off Friday and Monday. If we get to 200, we'll give away a t-shirt. Every 100 after, we'll give away another t-shirt.
Look at him, the green-jacketed gamey shit.
Yeah. I wonder if he ever bought an academy place. Just round the corner, good old cheese rolling, yeah. The women's world champion is American, who just wandered in and gave it a go. Of course she did.
It's Spearhead week. See all the Thanes soon.
If
Party
you're-
popper, confetti ball, party face, smiley face, flexed biceps, scared face.
Flexed biceps, that's my favourite one now. It is Thanes weekend. If you don't know what we're talking about, we're running an event in our little humble studio this weekend from Friday through to Sunday. I am both incredibly excited and shitting my pants about this weekend at the same time. I feel like part of the reason why I may not have relaxed properly over the course of the last 4 days is because this event is around the corner. I feel like that might not have helped. If you're unaware, what we're doing is we're doing a Spearhead weekend, and I'm contemplating doing another one soonish after, which will be 40k themed for combat patrols instead. What we've done is we've offered this out to Thanes beforehand. Now, it's not because we love Thanes more than the rest of you. We kind of do a little bit. But it's not because of that. It's because I like to use and abuse the Thanes and above as my test subjects for things. So when I try new things, they're often my soundboard. They are some of our most dedicated supporters. They get to see early, and I also get their feedback. And I know with most of them as well, they just want the channel to do well. So I'm going to get honest feedback, and I mean actual honest feedback. So if it's dog shit, I actually trust the Thanes to tell me it's dog shit, but to continue supporting because they know we don't like putting out dog shit, right? And we've got the Spearhead weekend coming up this weekend, and I can't wait for it. So in short, people are turning up at lunchtime on Friday and going home Sunday evening, and we're putting on a full 3-day thing. I've spent too much money kitting the studio out to allow this to take place in terms of benches and tables and chairs and all sorts, and cutting mats and blah blah blah. People have had the option to buy a ticket, a Spearhead included, and a merch pack.
At this point I feel like Joe is just trying to avoid me, crying face.
So I need to check the schedule, but a week on Thursday he's back 40k'ing against Paddy. So he can't avoid you for long. And on Tuesday he is playing Brom at AOS, so he should win that one as well. But thank you for the 5, Joe's losing streak. So they're able to buy a merch pack, a ticket for the weekend, and a Spearhead box. They can choose a Spearhead box, so they can select one at random. When they turn up on Friday, we will have 22, I think it is, places laid out with a cutting mat, a merch pack, a paint palette, their Spearhead box of their choice, or one at random that they'll find out on the day. And inside the merch pack is 1, 2, 3, 4 goodies, I think, inside the merch bag. I think it's 4 goodies I've got in the end. And they get their boxes on Fridays. We've set the tables out so they can sit and build and build their Spearheads all together. And over the course of the weekend, they can quite literally do whatever they want. You can build, you can paint, you can play, you can hang out, you can chat hobby, You can do what you want for the whole weekend. If you spend the whole weekend building and painting and playing no games because that's what you want to do, you're more than welcome to do that. If you spend the first day building and the rest of the weekend just playing and not painting and playing with Gray, you're welcome to do that. You can literally do whatever you want. It's a hobby weekend that we're hosting in our studio, and of course you're in the studio, so you get to hang out in the Great Hall, see behind the scenes, look at the studio, hang out with Joe and I. Lucy's coming for Saturday afternoon, evening. Paddy's coming for Saturday afternoon, evening. Brom's going to be in for a bit. So, you know,
I'm going to bring my knitting.
This is an opportunity to hang out with the team and be there. I think it's going to be incredible, but I'm also super nervous. I was at Costco yesterday spending near 300 quid on crisps, chocolate bars, cans, etc.
Tea bags.
I already think we don't have enough.
Oh, really?
I'm already sat here going, we don't have enough crisps and chocolate bars. We don't have enough. We have 150 bags of crisps, about the same in chocolate bars. We have about 150 cans of drink.
How many is going?
22. I don't think we've got enough. I don't know why. I just don't feel we've got enough.
Okay.
But we'll see. If it gets to a point where we're looking super low early on, I can do another Costco run, but Costco at the weekend is fucking busy.
Yeah.
We can make it work if we need to. So, I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be fun. The next one we're going to do is going to be Combat Patrol and see if that works as a test. If they both work as tests with the Thanes, we will in the future be opening it up to everybody else as well. I see they servo skull pallets in the wild today. They're literally slightly larger than a coaster. They're dog shit.
Really?
Stop talking about them.
I thought they'd be the size of maybe like a side plate.
Chris, welcome to the channel as a Yalta member, you fucking legend. What a hero. What a hero. Yeah, I'm shitting myself. Oh, also, we booked a place for us to go eat on Saturday.
I did nothing wrong. Maybe Joe needs a steel chestnut to beat the losing streak.
King Conker, 6.5k Academy. Thanks, man. What a legend. Thank you, Chris, for the Yalta membership. You absolute legend. I love you. And yeah, and then on the Saturday evening, we've booked the garden in a pub locally, which is literally I think it's officially the nearest pub to the studio, but there might be one slightly closer, but I think this is the nearest one, called The Hobbit, which is a Middle-earth themed pub. That's what we're going to go for the Saturday evening for food. It's all pizza, and they're amazing. We said to them, "Can we have your beer garden, which is undercover with patio heaters and space heaters?" We've said, "Can we have your garden for the Saturday evening?" They said, "Yeah, absolutely. Bring as many people as you want. Don't worry about deposits. Don't worry about food orders. We'll sort it out on the night." That's amazing, right? How good is that for a Saturday evening? I think I'd like to run these kinds of weekends more frequently, right? Whether that be Spearhead or Combat Patrol, they're my two only real options right now. We may introduce more games in the future, like Star Wars or Bolt Action, but at the moment, at least, we're going to keep it Warhammer. We're going to keep it 40k and an AOS. Can you put a 1 in chat if you think you'd be interested in the future at coming to these, and a 2 if you like, I'm not really bothered. I just want to gauge, because I don't want to keep putting these on at the cost it's fucking been over the course of the last few weeks. Although some of that cost will go away, because we bought like tables and chairs, right, which we won't need to rebuy. I don't want to keep putting them on if people are like, I'm not really bothered, Liam. It's just because the Thanes are nuts for you. We'll see. Off to hell, you're going to work, Star Pilot. Never do a Costco run on a weekend. Wouldn't see you till Monday. That's my concern. I mean, we've got a big Costco, but that is my concern. Oh, ones. So this is if we open it up to more than Thanes, by the way. You don't have to be a Thane to come every time in the future. Does it count if I'm already coming? Yeah, of course it does. Drew's not bothered. He doesn't care. And Heresy. Do they do like a Heresy Combat Patrol or something, John, that we could use? $23 members away from 150 as well, chat, by the way. Three likes away from 200 likes. I like how many ones John's put in, despite the fact he's got to fly over from fucking America to do this. Okay, it seems pretty overwhelming, actually. I think there's 1, 2 in there. We've got 2 people coming over from the US. We've got 1 person coming over from wherever the fuck Adrian's from this week.
Oh.
1111111.
It's not as much fun as when you do L's, all the L's. I'd bid there every week if the plane ticket wasn't $700. Yeah, I get that, totally. But if we put loads on, maybe at one time in your life, you could mix it in with like a holiday for the family or something. I don't know. We've got Sam, Star Pilot, and John are both coming over from the US this time round. Adrian's flying over from somewhere in Europe. Have to build a 4,000 point heresy army, yeah. Yeah. Who else came from the US? Star Pilot's coming from the US, John. She's not flying over yet. It's like, I think she flies tomorrow, I think? Or starts today? I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
But she's West Coast and East Coast as well. Washington, I think. So... It wouldn't let me do L's after the ones. Why not? It's fucking brilliant when she does L's, by the way. It makes me laugh. I think the man voice says L's better. Should we change it to the man's voice? Is this one, isn't it? Is it this one, Luce?
Oh, are we auditioning again?
You've got no fucking idea anyway, have you?
No.
Members, super chats. Here it is. Discard changes. Super chats. Amy. We should go to... Oh my god, they've added more. Oh my god, there's so
Amy,
many.
There's competition now.
In English British now, you've got Emma, Brian, Amy, and Arthur.
Oh, Arthur?
Do you want Brian or Arthur?
Oh, let's go for Arthur, darling.
Arthur. We've saved it for Arthur. Arthur is now our announcer on stream.
Oh, hello, Arthur.
What's such a British name?
How the devil are you?
How the devil are you, Arthur? Oh boy. Look, Wee Man's asking to be sniped as well, chat. Star is West Coast.
I think Arthur likes to sit beside the fire with his
Washington
slippers.
State, right, okay.
And the Sudoku puzzle of the week.
Sudoku. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Wouldn't be caught dead in a Greg's.
No, well, right. There's fuck all wrong with the Gregs.
Oh, I know. If I need to bribe the boys, it's Greg's sausage rolls.
They're over the road now as well. You can literally walk 2 minutes from our house now and get Greg's sausage rolls warm.
That's bad news for us.
Uh-oh.
Chuckle.
Arthur's got quite a nice voice. What was that?
We've definitely inconvenienced
He's
Arthur
like-
with the super chat. He's had to get up from his
He's
chair.
talking like someone's gently lathering up his balls. Isn't he? What was that for a noise?
Tally ho, good sir. LLLLLLLL.
That's not British.
That sounded more American then, didn't it?
That's not British. Can you do a test sentence?
I can, yeah.
Put something in with a lot of R's in it.
All I can do is press test.
Ugh.
Like this.
This is a test super chat message. This is a test super chat message.
No, that's American.
Someone just said
British.
something as well. How the devil are you, chaps? I just ruined Kev. Hang on, Kev. Hang on. I can fix you, Kev. Nope, it's not working. Fix Kev. It's not... I'm sorry, Kev. I ruined your super chat.
Ruined it, babe.
I'm sorry, Kev. I love the Kev chat.
Try to bring it back in One Piece 007.
That's a bit American, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a bit American.
Should we
That's
try-
not British. We're not having it, Arthur.
Arthur's a bit shit now. Should we try Brian?
Yeah.
Let's try if
Brian.
Brian sounds more... Yeah. If I turn the spam security off, it shouldn't stop any of the L's now either. That should now... everyone should... Sorry, Kev. I'm sorry, Kev. I'm sorry, Kev. I hope you enjoy my time off. I actually did enjoy my time off as well. I have theoried out a new Dark Angels list, though, chat. Which I now can share with you on stream, by the way. So yeah, Arthur is I don't think Arthur's it.
Has Evans come through?
Yeah, Evans just came through. We've now switched it to Brian. 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 Members. We don't have members turned on.
What ho, gentlemen. Let us don our flight caps.
I mean, he's more like the traditional...
Brian pulled through for us. Arthur, you sham. Get out.
is coming through as well.
My favorite 40k model is Lionel Johnson.
This is the one for the L's. This is the one for the L's. It's got to be Brian. Brian!
Brian.
The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain.
Oh, this is me now, mate. Jesus Christ, chat. Apparently we just change the voice every now and again and it sets them off.
I'm not the Messiah, I'm just a wee naughty boy.
He doesn't say I'm if you don't put the apostrophes. It's
Posh folk can't do it.
No. I've just created this month's Yard Above giveaway. Thanks, Gaz. Thanks, Luke. I fixed the L's, by the way, Mr. McCardle, so it now works. Just so you know. At least I think I have. It should let you now. It should let you.
How the devil are you chaps? Where's Greg's?
I think I prefer his voice.
Yeah, I like Brian.
The only other British one we have access to is... Oh no, that's the wrong one. We go back to Super Chats. Discard changes. The other British one we have access to is... English Australian. English British is Emma. English Indian, I don't want to... Let's go nowhere near that. English Ireland. English New Zealand. English South African. English US. Danielle, Gregory, Kevin and Sally. Matthew, Kimberly...
Brian.
By the way, right? There's a bit of bias going on here, Luce.
Yeah.
Wait, is this how you trick us into super chatting?
No.
I'd rather members anyway. Right, there's a bit of bias going on here, right? So English-British options in Streamlabs, right, for the text-to-speech. Emma, Brian, Amy and Arthur.
Okay.
Okay. English-Indian, 3 options. I'm not going to try and read them out for fear of murdering the names.
Okay.
English-Ireland, 1 option. Again, I don't want to try and read that one out. English-New Zealand, Aria, 1. English-South African, Ayanda, 1. English-US. Are you ready? English-US. Danielle, Gregory, Kevin, Sally, Matthew, Kimberly, Kendra, Justin, Joey, Joanna, Ivy, Ruth, Stephen.
Wow.
English, Welsh, Geraint. That's it. That's it. How many do the fucking Americans need? Graham, welcome to Yarl Tier. At the moment, chat, in Discord, Mr. the Gaz has just launched the Yarls Only giveaway. That means that until Wednesday next week, you can click on that giveaway free of charge if you are a Yarl Tier member or above, and that automatically enters you in once you've clicked it, just the once actually.
Y'all ready for this?
Yes, yes. At whatever time Gaz said, what did you say, 20:30 next Wednesday on the 30th, the giveaway bot then picks one of those random Yarl Tier or above members at random, and they win a Combat Patrol or Spearhead box of their choosing, right? Please stick on British Welsh. We can do that.
Big guns go BR. Hope you had a great time.
I've got to be honest. It's going back to this one. He's my favourite. Brian's my favourite.
Good old Brian.
Where's Geraint? Japanese, French Canadian, French Belgian, French Geraint. Safe. I've put it on Welsh for you just for now, Mr. the...
I'd like to hear the difference between French and French Canadian.
One will be in English and one will be in French.
No, that's not what I mean. Because isn't there...
Is there a Glasgow one?
Time for my monthly visit to the Dead Discord, ma.
That sounded a bit Welsh, actually. It sounded a bit Welsh. I'll be honest. I'm ignoring the comment, Sean, but it sounded a bit Welsh. Thank you for the tea, though. Thank you everyone for the super chats. You're amazing. We are 23 members away from 150.
I hope you have an amazing fine weekend.
Still ban my super chat.
I can't hear the Welsh.
Can you not? Really?
No.
I don't think it will sound right.
Whale oil beef hooked.
I heard it then.
Someone needs to super chat like whose coats that jacket.
See those 2 houses?
Those 2 houses. Mine's the one in the middle. It's right. I was the first to test it. It was Sean. Yeah, we need some traditional. We need some traditional Welsh phrases though. Like you can have bread, you'll have to have toast. Some proper Welsh phrases, like classics.
Wheel oil beef hooked.
Is there a Glasgow one? Let's have a look, shall we? For you, Mr. The Plague of Shadows. Gorion is English, Welsh. We don't seem to have an English Scottish though. Portuguese, Spanish. More Spanish US, Turkish,
Spanish could be
Swedish,
nice.
Welsh Gwyneth, but it sounds like she should actually read it in Welsh. English UK, English US. I'm still all about. I'll be honest with you, I'm still all about Brian right now. There is a lot actually, to be fair. Arabic, Gulf, Chinese Cantonese, Chinese Mandarin, Dutch, Danish. They've added so much. Dutch, Belgian, English, Australian, English, British, English, Indian, English, Ireland, English, New Zealand, English, South African, English, US, English, Welsh.
Isn't
no,
English
no
British Arthur though?
English, British is Arthur and Brian. We have 4 for English, British. We are just behind America and they're 27.
You reading that paper you're sitting on?
Oh,
You hear it a bit there?
I don't think that's a very good representation.
I think he's doing a great job, Geraint.
He's not as bad as Arthur.
All right, but what's occurring?
Oh yeah.
In a bit now, stick monkey is what you should be saying.
In a bit now.
In a bit now.
I'll finish this super chat now in a minute.
It just skipped Drew's. Oh, it's
Poor
coming through. It's coming
Drew.
through. All right, it's good. It's coming through. It recognises the actual Welsh people, Drew, ahead of you.
Yeah.
He says not knowing if Drew's actually Welsh or not.
All right, bud. Whose coat is that jacket?
No,
It's there.
I feel like
right.
the word jacket isn't.
Jacket.
Yeah.
I like how Luce is like not happy with that Welsh.
Not
I
happy
mean, I don't
with that
speak
Welsh.
it, but I'm not happy
No.
with it. We're going to go back to Brian because he's my favourite now. Brian's my favourite. There we go. We're back on Brian.
Brian.
Some of the English US females have got to be super southern. I'm not going to go through all of them tonight and make you all spend. We could, however, jump up to 200 members to make up for my time off, where I now look rested. Look at me looking rested.
Yeah.
I actually feel rested. For what it's worth. I only started to properly feel rested when I woke up this morning.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
Didn't feel it yesterday. I wasn't feeling rested yesterday. I felt it this morning. But then the first 2 days off, Friday and Saturday, I was still awake at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Oh, Alex, I'm so sorry.
Shlovia Pushkwingilgo Gerik Wandrobel Shlonta Go whose coat is that jacket?
I think Brian got his Welsh on then.
Brian's the man.
Yeah.
Brian's the man, isn't he?
Rose to the occasion.
Geraint. I don't give a fuck, Sean, how it's pronounced. It's a fucking AI bot. It's pronounced how I say it. Innit?
There must be science out there that tracks your brain chemistry. So if you have a week off, really should you have, for example, if it takes 4 days for your brain to reacclimatize to the lack of stress, should you really have a week and 4 days off? Because then you'll get the week. Or
there's got to be science behind it.
Yeah, or does your brain chemistry represent, for example, 4 days for you to reacclimatize to no stress, and then as you get through your holiday, you start to create the stress hormone because you know you're going back.
There's got to be science behind it. There's got to be science behind how long it actually takes to decompress, etc. But I wouldn't mind betting that a lot of it's relevant though. So some people will decompress in a day, and some people will decompress in 5 days. So I guess it's relevant to the original stress levels, which I guess is harder to kind of measure. I guess.
Yes. For example, do people like paramedics, do they need more time off than maybe somebody who, I don't know, because even someone who works in a supermarket dealing with rude customers all day could probably...
And stress is relative as well.
Yeah.
So, like, because you could argue, and you would be right to argue, that streaming like this and playing Warhammer for a living is not the most stressful job in the world.
Yeah.
Comparatively with someone, for example, who's in law enforcement or like a paramedic.
Yeah.
But then when you factor in running your own business and being responsible for all the income and the expenditure, at that point, then it becomes if you took running your own business as a separate kind of thing, and you explained the stresses of running your own business, especially when you have rented property and bills, etc., and you forgot the fact that that person was streaming and playing Warhammer, you go, well, that sounds quite stressful. And then when you layer in the fact that they're playing Warhammer, you go, well, that sounds like fun. So at least running my own business, the bit that I do as work is fun, and the running the business part is hard. So that brings the stress levels down. You take that same running of that business and you put it in a different context, because that person doesn't stream or play Warhammer, they do something different. That could then increase the stress. So stress is super relative as well. I
would love to measure, if you could stick all the things on your head that measure all like your brain activity, I'd love to measure the brain chemistry between someone like a secondary school teacher versus maybe someone like a policeman, and see if the brain chemistry is actually quite similar.
But there's policemen out there that are like, fuck being a secondary school teacher.
Yeah,
and there's secondary school teachers out there that are like, fuck being a policeman.
Yeah.
That's the point, isn't it? Stress is relative.
But it'd be interesting though.
Oh, super interesting. 100%. 100%. And I've known people that have gone from job A into job B, where I've looked at that and I've gone, job B sounds much more stressful. They're like, yeah, I'm much happier.
Yeah.
What?
Plague of Shadows, it more depends on the amount of sleep I'm able to get on shift. If we run all night, then my 2 days off don't feel like enough. I definitely felt like when I was coming off night shift, my off period was not enough because you still have to function during the day because you have people that depend on you, or you're just not a nocturnal creature, so your body's going to try and kick you out of night shift all the time. It's the coming off night shift is not enough, and you just feel drunk for like 36 hours.
Drunk is a great analogy as well, because although you don't have the alcohol poisoning in your blood, your response times, your reaction times, your feeling, your sluggishness, it's actually quite relevant, I think. You could measure my brain cell with a bit of grass and a conker and string. Amazing. You could also build up resistance to stress. I see a fair bit of blood and death in my work, and it don't bother me as much as in the beginning. I've also heard, though, Crucified Justified, and I don't know how true this is, but I have also heard...
Last day in work tomorrow before the Spearhead weekend.
Oh, I love Brian!
I'm looking forward to meeting up with old friends and making new ones in a happy hobby space.
He's so positive, isn't he? Amy just was like, I can't be bothered with this, I'm just going to read it out. Brian's like, I'm fucking here for it. I love Brian.
Amy's like, I'm clocking off at 9.
Yeah, thanks, guys, you fucking legend. Yeah. I've also heard with that as well, Crucified Justified, that everyone I did some trim practice, some trauma risk management practitioner course, stuff like that, etc. Mental health training, etc. And what we were told was actually a lot of people have a snapping point, and they go, I'm fine, I can't do anymore.
Yeah.
And that could be people that deal with things like what you're suggesting, blood, guts, death, etc. People go, I've seen a fair amount of it. Thankfully, I've never hit my breaking point. I'm now no longer involved in it. So I don't feel like I've ever got close to that breaking point ever. But I've heard that people go, I'm okay, I can deal with it, I can't deal with it anymore, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like my cup's full, I'm done. I can't see this anymore.
I wonder if it's also your brain normalizes that kind of extreme scene.
I think Brian plays Warhammer.
Which should be shocking every time you see it, because seeing things like blood and guts, that should be on the inside of you. Definitely, it normalises it
until your cup overflows and you go, I can't see anymore.
Yeah, so I wonder then why your cup does overflow. If your brain will try and normalise it because you have regular exposure to it,
I don't know.
Why then does it go pop? Can't do it. I wonder if that's because so there's your sophisticated brain and there's your caveman brain. I wonder if because they're both trying to rationalise it, and that maybe is that
what
the
they do though. Maybe what it does is it desensitises you, but doesn't realise your cup's still filling.
Yeah.
It's like the pain receptors, right? Where you put when you put a garden fork through your foot.
Yeah.
When you don't look at it, your pain receptors are like, everything's fine. The second you look down, you go, oh, that now hurts. You know what I mean? Prentice, thank you for the 5 gifted. Don't forget, chat, by the way. Prentice, you're a legend. Thank you for the 5 gifted. But don't forget, if you give 20 or more on a night when we're at home that's not a Monday, apparently, Luce gives you a hope of some sort. Tonight's a bit plain.
Plain?
Plain. Tonight's hope's been a bit plain.
Excuse you.
Not really worth gifting 24 so far.
Have you ever been late for work and thought, fuck, I forgot to put the stuff in the tumble dryer. Now I have no clean pants and I'm already late. I'm going to have to go commando today. Brilliant.
No, I open my drawer and I go, babe, I've got no clean pants! And then you put the washing on.
It's like that magic coffee table, isn't it?
Yeah. And then the next day I open the drawer, full of clean pants. Pants. That's how that works. So no, I don't have that problem. Robert, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. You fucking legends. Bunch of heroes. You're all a bunch of heroes. We are even closer to 150. Nearly 200, chat.
I loved the way Brian said happy hobby space. So here goes. Happy hobby space, happy hobby space, happy hobby space, happy hobby space, happy hobby space.
I love Brian's voice. It's so much better. There was something about Amy caressing your ear for a bit, but...
I'm so sorry, Jay. It gets to this time of night, and I guess just the air gets damp and just starts me off.
Shower gel wish was a strong one. Okay, I'll give you
Yeah.
that one. Shower gel's strong.
Yeah.
Clean pants equals clean underwear. Yes, Dolphin. Sorry, we should. Pants in the US is trousers.
Oh, no, undies.
Yeah. So when she wished John clean pants, she meant underwear.
Or knickers.
Underwear.
Girls wear knickers, boys wear pants.
Maybe because the brain doesn't have enough time to fully process or empty the cup. Essentially, even if the cup's capacity is increasing, it's fixing fast and its capacity is growing. Well, maybe. Interesting. If my drawer is empty, I shout, babe, I've no clean pants. I'll be told to sort myself out or go back to front or inside out and back to front. Fair, yeah. If you're coming for that's the bonus, you're coming for the Thanes weekend. If you stay Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, strictly as a man, you need 1 pair of pants. 1 pair of underwear. Wear them normally, inside out, back to front, inside out again. 4 days, done, 1 pair.
Evan says my wife has a handsome magic creature that folds her laundry every week.
Does she? Is his name Evan?
I'm still not comfortable you doing my laundry, even after all these years. Because
which is good.
All my bras, you just wouldn't do it right, so I'd have to buy all new bras, and then I think you'd end up taking things like a nice blouse and being, well, that blouse can go in with that red sock, it's fine. And
so,
these aerial tablets say that they're colour ones, so they'll be fine.
So the rule for washing, right, is you carry the washing basket downstairs to the washing machine. You empty the basket until the washing machine's full. Mm-hmm. You put 2 pods in. You shut the door. Put it on 40. On. Done. Leave it alone.
And you haven't sorted out the colours and the lights and whites.
No,
and
just
the
fill the
things
washing
that
machine
need
up.
a hot
2024.
wash.
You don't need to do that anymore.
Oh, see, this is why I
you don't need
can't
to do that anymore.
let you
2024.
do it. Girls' underwear's expensive, and you're going to ruin it all.
It's only because there's so much material.
Ouch.
Oh, the look. Oh, stick Bucky. Thank you for the dead gifted. You just empty it till it's done. Fill up the washing machine. 2 pods.
No, you're going to ruin it all.
No. My wife has the same handsome laundry elf. What, Evan comes to your house as well? Thank you so much, Sean, for the 10 gifted, man. We are 2 away from 150. You're amazing, you lot. Thank you so much. Where is my giveaway bot? Let's get them set up. Just in cases. First day back, I had a giveaway bot. Look at that.
I remember being in hospital with James, after having James, and being quite poorly in the worst ways, and then having to text Liam and say, I need you to grab me some extra bits from home, and realising all of these words I'm about to text you, I don't think you know what they are in clothing, and now I'm going to have to describe them while I'm on painkillers to say, in the right hand drawer, these ones, not these ones, the other ones.
Warhammer, thank you for the 1 gifted.
Stressful.
You just tell me. I don't get embarrassed by anything.
Wow.
You know that by now.
It's not about your embarrassment. It's about mine. Of you turning up with some kind of
Why would you...
contraption that's not at all what I described to you.
Why do people get embarrassed?
No.
Alex, thank you for the one gifted. That means, chat, we're just 50 away from covering off lunchtime stream. Just saying. One person gives 50, we've covered lunchtime. 3 people give 50, we've covered lunchtime and yesterday. 5 people give 50, we've covered lunchtime yesterday and Friday. How generous are you feeling?
Luce will be in the newspaper tomorrow.
No, she loves me too much. Luce made a skirt.
I did. I'm really surprised by the hyperfocus thing. Because I don't think I've really had proper hyperfocus before.
I'm not surprised by it, but I'm a little... Because I've had that exact same hyperfocus. I'm a little surprised that this was the thing that grabbed your hyperfocus for like 5 days straight.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, hey, we're going to have a long weekend off together.
Bye!
So I was streaming on Thursday, as you guys are well aware, right? And so on Wednesday, Luce decided she was going to start making herself a skirt. And so we went into town. What day did we go to town? Like 2 weeks ago, we went to town and got her some material. So she could start making... Luce has got a new hobby. It's not a new hobby, but she's delved deeper into a hobby in terms of sewing and knitting and all that kind of stuff. So this is her hobby. And she's turned it into her own little hyperfocus, right? But she started that on Wednesday. I then went streaming all day Thursday. I had no idea that that's basically what she did all day Thursday. And then on Friday, I'm like, yay, first day. Oh, she's in our bedroom all day doing sewing and knitting. It's fine because we've got Saturday all day. Oh. That happened again. Sunday. Oh. 5 days straight, chat. Just making this fucking skirt. But, you know, I helped you a bit.
Oh, yeah, you helped me loads. I was about to unpick fabric.
Loads is a bit of an overstatement.
No, honestly, you've probably saved me another day's work.
Axel, thank you for the one gifted. Hang on. Yeah, Captain Rex, thank you for becoming a channel member, you legend. I think helped you loads is a bit of an overstatement, I'll be honest with you. Is it the denim skirt you put in Luce's strip? Looks very nice. Yes, it is.
I need to just take in maybe nearly an inch off the bottom right-hand side. An inch is inch. From the bottom right-hand side, and then it'll be done. Then it'll be done. Done. Yeah. Dun.
It's very fancy. Are you wearing it? Are you wearing it the weekend?
I want to.
Are you brave enough to wear it out for pizza night?
I know. Stress test or what? Bread on a fitted skirt.
Yeah.
I might ask for gluten-free.
I think go for it. I'm here for it. I reckon it'll be fine. We engineered the shit out of that skirt.
Gluten-free and no Budweiser. The bloating will be kept to a minimum.
Chat, we've got a t-shirt giveaway live right now. If you type t-shirt into chat, all one word, or just copy and paste the pinned message that I've put in the chat, in the live chat, then you'll be entered in with a chance to win a t-shirt giveaway. At the moment, it's just the one, actually. At some point later on, I will hit the roll it button. It will roll a giveaway randomly. And one of you will be lucky enough to win one of our printed t-shirts. Essentially, what you actually win isn't a t-shirt. What you win is a discount code to our merchandise page for the equivalent value of a t-shirt. Right? Cool. You want to see it? Well, it's in Discord, in her strip. Mm-hmm. Weird to say that about online. But yeah, if you type that all one word or copy and paste the pin message, all lowercase, no hyphen, all together, you're all doing it, you're all nailing it this time round, then we'll get you entered in with the chance of winning a t-shirt giveaway at some point. I'll probably pull it in about 5 minutes, because if we do hit 200 for in some small miracle, then I will do another one, and if we hit 300, I'll do another one, and if we hit 400, I'll do like 5 more. F-shirt. T-shirt. Thanks, John. You're in the UK, John, right now, right? Are you around tomorrow? When are you around? Is it tomorrow or Thursday? I'm home all day tomorrow. I can host you. I don't remember when you said you were coming down this way. I feel like it was tomorrow, but I can't remember. If you'd rather have this conversation privately, you're also welcome to do that as well, by the way. You don't have to Tell me, we have to have this chat on live on YouTube. Did your t-shirt designer get back to you on the pivot idea? Working on it, Kev. Already working on it. Already working on it. I'm hoping he takes longer than a week so I can afford to pay him. Give Luke some get better flowers. Ah, bless you. You don't like flowers, do you, really?
No.
Because they're dead plants, aren't they?
Yeah.
Murderer!
Seeds or a potted
Oh!
plant.
We did the third instalment of Sour on Sunday as well.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah.
You want to do the Sour on Sundays roundup?
Here's something towards a bottle of Benin for Lucy's cough. Loving the chat
Leave
as
your cable alone.
always.
I didn't touch it.
That's what those heads just told me. Thank you, Jay, you fucking legend. Thanks for the 5
That's
D.
very kind of you. It's honestly, it's so close to going now. It was much worse, and I had the sneezing. But I didn't have the achy joints. I didn't have any low energy, no fatigue. It's been the weirdest cold ever.
Also, she won't touch medicine unless it's homemade.
That's not true. If I definitely need it, I'll grab it. It's in the cupboard.
Talva, thank you for the 1 gifted membership. Paying it forward. What a legend. What a hero. Thank you so much for the 1 gifted, dude. I checked Discord. The skirt is lovely. Fantastic job. There you go. See?
Ah.
See?
How do you know I didn't Photoshop it?
You didn't Photoshop. I think people know.
I mean, I'm abandoned you for 5 days.
Yeah.
So it's definitely...
Careful of the spoilers. Some people haven't seen Lord of the Rings. Well, fucking tough luck. They came out years ago. Anyway, right. Third instalment of Sour on Sundays, right? Hit me.
So we started when they just had all the snow
On the mountain.
on the mountain,
Mountains Gandalf.
and then they went through the mines,
Of Moria, yeah.
and now they are in. Hang on. Ooh. Now they're in where the is it Kate Blanchett?
Yeah, yeah.
So they're with her, and Frodo's just looked into the bird bath.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Um,
They've left there though, haven't they now?
Where did we finish?
We stopped when they pulled up along shore after leaving Lothlorien.
They were in a boat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they were in that big river. And the engineered army are now... They're out now.
The Urukai.
They're out and about now.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
The worst part about it is, chat, I keep trying to test our knowledge. So we were having something to eat after we watched it. I said, "Oh, lambus bread." She went, "What's that?" Like, it's in a fucking, literally in the last hour that we watched.
Yeah, it's that little, looks like a little samosa.
Also, right, Lucy's got a real fucking problem with Pippin.
Why would you take the clumsiest cousin with you on anything? Can't trust him with a pint of milk from the shop. Why would you take him with you on such an important mission? But you said in the books he's not at all like this.
You need to read the books.
So why have they made, what's his name? Pippin?
Peregrine Took. Yeah.
Peregrine, yeah, one of those.
Pippin.
Why have they made him so annoying when in the book he's not at all
You'll need to
annoying?
read all the behind the scenes stuff. Not read, watch all the behind the scenes stuff. By the way, the behind the scenes stuff from the extended editions, I actually think you'd really like on the whole. Because you have often in theatre and cinema, sorry, in theatre and production and what have you, you prefer the behind the scenes stuff. And the first maybe the first film's worth of directors like extended stuff behind the scenes is all about like converting the works of Tolkien, which explains some of this in itself about why they've done what they've done and why they've cut bits out and what have you. And then the other two go into how they did it, how they made everything. It's fucking phenomenal documentary television as to how they made everything, how they did the Force perspective, how they used miniatures made by Wet Workshops who did Gandalf, how they did special camera effects and camera angles and stuff like that. I genuinely think it's an absolutely fascinating watch to see all that behind the scenes stuff. But in principle, the reason why they made Pippin is it adds a touch of humour to a film. And a lot of films, even serious ones, unless they're like horror, have a touch of humour in them to try and lighten the mood and add a bit of comic relief in.
But why do we need to lighten the mood when we're in the mines? The mines is scary. Why does the mood need lightening?
We didn't really lighten the mood in the mines, though.
No, he pissed me off in the mines.
Full of a took, comic relief. Pippin went because of Providence. It will agreed comic relief. There you go. So they needed comic relief. See, people agree with me.
Oh, I never understand why directors make that choice. That if you've got a really tense scene, and you've managed to get the audience tense with you, why would you then put a funny moment?
Big River, the Anduin, Luce. The Anduin. Yeah, Luce doesn't do names apparently.
Yeah. This is the ultimate description of Fellowship of the Ring ever. Yep.
This is what we're doing after each of our Sauron Sundays. We do a rundown as to what Luce thought, and evidently is one of the best bits of British literature in forever. One of the film trilogy, which is by a lot of people seen as the greatest film trilogy ever made. And she's like, no, I don't like it. Shit. But I feel like Luce is just trying not to like it on purpose.
No, I am. It's growing on me.
Liam loves it, so I'm gonna hate it.
I don't like how loud it is, but it's growing.
I mean,
on me.
I do turn the home cinema system right up for my own selfish.
I don't. It honestly starts to rumble my anxiety. How loud you have it. I'm not a fan of loud noises.
Normally when I'm watching these films, I'm sat here in a shared office, and I don't have it on very loud because I'm like, and I watched some of the Lord of the Rings in the cinema. And when you have them on, it just the musical scale, the sound effects they do, it just fucking hits different. So now that I've got you watching it in our living room on our big TV with our cinema system, I'm like, I'm having it fucking loud because it's the only time I can do it.
But when you brought me up a cup of tea when I was near the end of my skirt, you stopped. You're about to walk out the room and you stopped and you went, "What's that noise?" And I said, "Oh, my phone's got Big Bang Theory on it." And you said, "Where's your phone?" Right next to me. It's just background noise.
It wasn't noise. There wasn't noise. It wasn't noise. You can't call that background noise. It was background whispering at best.
That's how loud I have it.
I was like, she was had a phone on the side where she was sat next to her, and all you could hear is like it was so quiet you couldn't even hear the words the actors were saying, and they weren't whispering. It's not background noise.
I think
that's just irritation.
I think it's testament to my own hearing because I've lived with you for so many years that I can still hear my phone even that quiet. Whatever I'm doing must be good.
You can't hear that. I won't have it.
I wonder if you're a relative to Brian Blessed sometimes.
Fuck off. Godfather Trilogy rules. The Godfather Trilogy is okay, yeah. It's decent. It's good. A proper viewing for the first time should be grand. Thank you, Evan. You are correct.
No, it's too loud.
Are you ready, chat? Are you ready? Bang. Pridders! You've won a t-shirt, sir. You want a t-shirt, Pridders?
So, Razor says it's dark and dreary movie, so having some moments like when Pippin ate 4 of the breads at once is a light chuckle. All that did was annoy me, and it made me go, of course you did, dickhead. Of course, out of any of the cast who would do something stupid and annoying, yep, definitely you. You ate 4 of the breads.
I've reset the giveaway. If we hit 200, I've reset it. You'll have to enter all over again. By the way, but. I think it's great.
What film are you going to watch for me then once I've done?
Well, what do you want me to watch?
Lord of the Rings? Are you giving me the choice?
No, I'm asking you what you want me to watch and then I'll agree or not.
Ooh. Okay. Right, let me think.
But then if we're going to back and forth like tennis, I mean, I've just started the Star Wars saga again.
No, I can't. No, that's too many. That's
I've
too many of the same fucking thing.
I've watched the first 3. We can start it all over again.
No. I'll just jump in at the end and you'll just give me a summary.
Means that did you spay? Love Actually. Great film. What are you talking about? Pitch Perfect. Say Pitch Perfect, Luce.
No. Pitch Perfect is your film.
Just say Pitch Perfect. I'm like, ah. And we want to watch it again. What can you make me watch? Yeah, we've started. I've had to reset the giveaway because the YouTube chat broke-ish, sort of, in the giveaway, but I didn't realize I actually fully reset it. So, But you can all put your entry in. We're not at 200 members yet, right? So you can fucking back off right now. Okay? Not gonna happen, chat. Not gonna happen at all. You've all made Brian go quiet. So Brian has gone quiet. Maybe I should change the voice again.
No, Brian's fine. He's just stoking the fire.
I like Brian, actually.
And warming his slippers.
He is, in fact, my favourite, yeah.
That's all he's doing.
Yeah. I've run out. Oh, there's one up there. Hang on. I've run out of mead, but the open bottle's in the kitchen. I'll be back in a second. Please?
No.
You have?
No. No.
You love it when I leave you to it.
No.
Liam. I suggest Luce makes you watch Pitch Perfect.
No, Alex. Bad Alex. I think all I'm doing is keeping his seat warm. Or keeping Anna Kendrick's seat warm. And as soon as she comes to her senses, flies all the way over here, pops up at number 58, rings the doorbell. I know.
You're
I'm
right.
dust.
You're right, Alex. You're right. You're right. Thank you for the 2, by the way, mate.
As we're watching in hour chunks, I think this could be a series that we start. But you nearly missed the cup then.
No, I didn't.
You nearly missed the cup
I'd
then.
lick it up. It'd be fine. Look at Pretty Rivendell. It is pretty, innit? It is pretty, Rivendell. I'll bring Barad-dûr home once you lot have seen it this weekend. Well, no, that's a lie. Once you lot have seen it this weekend, I'll do a review on the channel, and then I'll bring it home.
Poor Amy has been abandoned like the Ultramarines.
Don't know what you're talking about, Sean. I've been spraying them recently. There's more of them that are blue now. Don't know what you're talking about. I have found that I'm at my happiest in the hobby. I've drank far too much mead already tonight, by the way. I have found I'm at my happiest in the hobby when I get to just move between my favourite projects. At the moment, I have 3 main 40k projects on the go, and I'm just happy, and I think that's all that matters, right? Ultramarines, Dark Angels, World Eaters. They're my factions at the moment. My Elder I've been put to bed for a little while because there's a lot. The list I want is quite complicated and there's a lot of models to paint. I want to get through some consistent power armor first, and then I think I'll go back to the Elder eventually. But don't you worry about them Ultramarines. Oh my god. This stuff is nowhere near as nice if it's not chilled. Oof. Yeah. Happiness was a cigar called Hamlet, I thought. Well, I like a good cigar.
Really?
Mm.
When have you ever smoked a cigar?
Maybe like 4 times.
When was the last time you smoked one?
About a year ago. When Adam and Emma were here.
I'm learning new things about you all the time.
It was definitely cold. It was winter because we were shivering in the garden. Yeah. Love a good cigar.
Oh.
Drop some ice into it. What? Outerwear power armor. No, it's not the same though, is it? Or power armor snooze. Shut up, Lord of Cinder. You shut up. You shut your dirty whore mouth. Some people were just hobby butterflies floating from one project to another. That's me, 100%. Absolutely. Weddings and births. I've been to a wedding for a... Well, actually, we went to Harry's wedding this year, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. I like a good wedding. I had to dig out the tuxedo today out of the wardrobe.
Does it fit?
I haven't tried it on yet. We'll wait till bedtime. And when I get changed for the shower, I'll put it on and see if it fits. And if it does fit, great. Might just have to replace the shirt because it's grubby. If it doesn't fit, I can then cry myself to sleep in bed.
Okay.
Yeah. Liam in trouble now? No, I'm not. Not at all. But yeah, I'm looking forward to wearing that next Tuesday, actually. I'm really excited for next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an experience I never had. So I get to experience it properly for the first and probably last time. Because I don't think I'll get another chance. I'm pretty bad butterfly if I don't have something chaining me to a project. You wearing it for the Thames weekend? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting out for. Yeah.
Like a game show host.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to put it on Thursday night for the live studio audience. Yeah, our survey says. Yeah, absolutely. You're dressing up for us on Friday all day, Sean. Friday is tuxedo. Saturday, birthday suit.
Lucky
group, isn't it?
group.
Including the Hobbit.
Wow.
Stay warm in the pizza oven.
Yeah. So they won't have kids, but they'll have that. Yeah.
If it doesn't fit, it's because it's shrunk. Yes, exactly that. Yes. I feel like I'm in better shape from when I wore it last time. So, oh fuck off! YouTube was reset like 6 times tonight. It's pissing me off.
Yeah, it's kicked me out once.
Are you lot still having the same problem where it goes no memory reset?
Right, I've got my end of stream fact ready.
Oh, you want to finish early tonight?
What time are you wanting to finish?
Oh, it's Tuesday, isn't it?
So you're going to go till 10:30?
Oh God, no, I wasn't going to do that.
Well, give me a time then. What was your time?
Maybe 9:30.
Okay.
Just okay?
All right.
What's the catch?
Nothing.
Chat, you just got given a half-hour extension. If that isn't worth another 48 gifted memberships, I don't know what is. Makes my fun things feel like a reward for getting more main units done. I like to do a core unit, then I get to do something fun for the hobby. That sounds interesting. I've tried all of these techniques, though. I've tried all these techniques for doing hobby. Like, what was the thing that hooked you into doing the skirt? What? If you could put your finger on one thing... I'm hoping at the point...
No, because I'm going to sound all preachy and very hypocritical because what I want to accomplish is impossible.
So I mean, considering you've done a couple of different projects, I was going to suggest that there wasn't actually one specific thing that hooked you into doing the skirt. You just found a hyperfocus and went with it. When you started the skirt, was your mind in a place when you started the skirt where you were like, I really want to make this fucking skirt?
No.
Right, good. Thank you. Good. So, at what point do you think you got to, through roughly the 5-day process, where you're like, I need to finish this? Because it wasn't on day 1 at the start.
I got to that point when the hyperfocus was starting to affect other corners of my life.
So roughly how was there? Do you feel like there's a point in the project where you're like, the yoke's on, I'm going to finish this now, or
no,
I've done the buttons or whatever? Was there a point where you were like, I now need to finish this?
Not for the skirt.
Okay.
When it was, I had other things on my to-do list for my week off, like planning our last term of home ed, and I couldn't get my brain to focus on it because I needed I was hooked onto the, but I don't think it was the skirt. I think it's the sewing machine.
So even the project itself wasn't necessarily the thing that forced the hyperfocus.
No.
Good. That's exactly what I assumed.
I think it's what it represents.
Because I suffer with hyperfocus a lot. And I often can't naturally apply that to a hobby project and go start project, build whole army, paint whole army, done. I can't do that. I start project, I build 3/4 of the army, I put it down. I come back to it 2 months later, I keep building the project. And then by that point, I've done 2 or 3 other starts of projects. And then I might start painting one, and then I might put that down, I might do something else, and I might build another. And that's how I always work. And every now and again, a hyperfocus grabs me. I lose 2 hours building a fucking mobile phone display for the stream. And people have said, do this. Like, people have said to me forever, do this, do that, do this, do something else. Paint a squad, don't paint a squad. Paint single miniatures, do something cool. Build your line infantry first. Paint a boring unit, then paint a character. I'm like, none of it works for me because I cannot for the life of me put my finger on. And you've kind of just done this as well. I cannot for the life of me put my finger on what causes the hyperfocus. And I would suggest your answer has told me you don't really know why you're hyperfocused. You just did. And that's how I feel about hyperfocusing is a great power. And sometimes when I feel it taking me, the strength is going, I'm letting this happen. I'm going to let this hyperfocus take me. And I get the job done often. And sometimes I can feel the hyperfocus taking me and the power is going, no, don't. I can't afford to tumble down this rabbit hole now. I've got other things I need to do. I need to stop this right here. Right? And I feel like that's the strength of hyperfocusing is knowing when to go with it and knowing when to say stop. What I can't do, and I don't know if I'm the only one here, but what I can't do is I can't force myself to hyper-focus on a thing to make sure it gets done. I've never been able to do that. I've never been able to go, here's a project, how do I make sure this becomes my focus? How do I make sure I finish the painting project? How do I make sure I finish the new stream thing? How do I make sure I make the skirt? I've never been able to put my finger on what causes me to do that. All I've ever been able to do, what I've had to learn to do is control when I let it go and when I stop it. And you kind of went, I'm now in a place where I'm not going to get other things done, so I need to let the hyperfocus take me and get it done. And then once it's done, I can go back to doing the things I need to do.
I don't think it was necessarily. Hang on a minute. I don't think it's necessarily letting the hyperfocus go. I think it's the value in where I'm spending my time had changed.
Okay.
So I was getting tons of value from doing my skirt because I had tons of time to spend on it. And then as the time runs out and the skirt project, because when you start a project, you do loads very quickly because you're excited, and then you start to get a bit fatigued by the project.
Yeah.
So then you start to see...
Yeah, project burnout. Yep, 100%.
Yep, and you start to see your time run out, and all the stuff that you also need to get round to isn't getting done. I guess when it kind of takes over your life a little bit... Oh, it's difficult, isn't it?
Grumpage says that my biggest blocker to not being able to focus is probably Pornhub. Yeah. Currently painting 2 units of Deathwing Knights. What's your list? I can show you the list with my new fancy stream integration. If you can accept the fact that it's got rough edges at the moment because I was only building it today, I can show you. I can take you through my list and how I've built a list for competitive play for the next half an hour. If you want me to do that, when the stakes are important enough to you getting into a flow, stakes can be a conscious endeavour. Yes.
But I had this weird conversation with myself that I thought, this is now starting to get in the way of the rest of my life. So I'm not sleeping well because I'm almost addicted to my hobby. So I'm not sleeping well. I'm going to bed looking forward to waking up so I can crack on again. So that's not relaxed sleep.
Yeah, I get it.
There was almost to a point, there was almost too much dopamine floating around that I then got scatty and I started to make a few tiny mistakes. Repairable mistakes, so you can't see them. And then it just starts to get to a point of, I need this to be done now. I need it to conclude so I can walk away from it. Because it's very difficult. I now massively appreciate when I speak to other ADHDers and they're like, I don't understand how I lost 2 days. And I'm looking at them going, what do you mean you don't understand how you lost 2 days?
That's me.
And now I can see it.
That's me.
Because if I didn't have you bringing me up cups of tea and you doing things like turning the light on, because my sewing machine has a little light on it anyway, so I don't notice the ambient light around me because I'm looking at the stitches that I'm working on. You would come up, turn the light on, put a cup of tea down.
Jeremy, thank you for the one gifted, man. What a legend.
And it's even things like my own body had stopped telling me that I needed a wee.
Yeah, that's common.
And that was, I'd look up and go...
That's super common.
Oh, my kidneys hurt a bit. When was the last time I used the loo? Oh my God, that was hours and hours ago.
Yes, go through your process of making the list, as I have no idea what to do when it comes to decisions. I mean, I can. If people want me to do it, we can do that.
You're literally describing your husband's business model, loose.
What are you talking about? for fuck's sake, this is also relatable. Do I have ADHD? How do I test it? How you test it, I don't know, if I'm honest. Luce might be able to help there. Do you have ADHD? If it's also relatable, I would argue the answer is probably yes. I'd argue the answer is probably yes. I had no idea that I had what is considered classed as ADHD until we started essentially the kind of education experience of my eldest son, and then through primary school, infant school,
Yeah.
and post-infant school, with the way professionals talk about him and the things that he does, and some research that we were then doing online. Do a bit of research, Mikhail, is the best answer I can give you. You probably go tick, 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 tick. Yeah, I do all those things. ADHD is often misconstrued as a person who's a bit naughty, mischievous, can't sit still. The latter is relatively common, but there's a reason for it. Like, when I'm streaming, I stream for an hour and a half to 2 hours to sometimes 3 hours. I cannot be still. I'm always fidgeting. I have this on my desk, and you'll often see me spinning it. I have to be fidgeting with something. My foot's going under the desk, my knees bobbing. I have to be fidgeting all the time. I cannot sit still. I go to bed at the end of the day. A lot of people will be able to relate to this. I go to bed at the end of the day exhausted. I've done sometimes no physical exercise. I do the gym quite frequently. I was doing some walking for a while. I haven't done a lot over the last week because I've been trying to rest a bit. But I'm like actually exhausted on days where I don't even do that. And I'm like, why? I'm like, well, actually, because I haven't stopped moving. I haven't stopped moving for the whole fucking day because I'm always moving. ADHD comes in many different forms as well. Hyperfocus is one of the biggest indicators for me that I had this kind of condition. I say condition. I don't even really think that's a fair way of talking about it, because I think it can be a superpower.
I call it a consideration.
Yeah, that's a nicer word to use.
Yeah.
I think things like ADHD can genuinely be used as a superpower. And that's kind of what I was just sort of talking about a little minute ago. Is I often nowadays, because I'm more aware of it, can start to feel the hyperfocus taking over. And hyperfocus, for those of you that are unaware, because we talked about it quite a lot, hyperfocus is literally as it sounds. I've got this task that I've started to do, and you hyperfocus in. And so this is your view of the world and the world around you. And what happens is you start to focus in on this one task, and you forget everything else. And I'll sit here sometimes, and Luce will tell you this is genuinely true. And I won't have had breakfast, and I won't have lunch, and I'll forget that I need to go to the toilet. I'm not. Don't get me wrong, chat. I'm not gonna sit here and piss myself. That's not what I'm saying, because that's not the reality of what a lot of people go through. But you end up sitting here for 3 or 4 hours, glued to a screen or glued to something, doing a task. And before Luce comes in and be like, "Do you need something to eat?" You're like, "What?" Because you sort of, it's almost like you lose the concept of time.
This is why being the parent to ADHD kids is exhausting, because you're not only meeting your own needs of, have I eaten anything? Do I need to use the toilet? You're also kind of child-minding your own children, because despite James being 11, he will not remember to drink something. So then we have water bottles dotted around the house. And that's some of the mental toll of managing send children, because some things just will not ever occur to them on their own.
Yeah.
No matter how many sort of clues you put around the house, you're still required to say, when was the last time you used the toilet? When was the last time you had a drink?
Yeah. And there are, it's more difficult for kids, and they need parental cues. I think the biggest breakthrough I've had in the last year or two is being able to control when I let the hyperfocus go, and I go with it. And when I stop it, in its tracks and be like, no, stop. That I don't need to hyperfocus this right now. There are times when I have lost 3 or 4 hours on a stream improvement that I would guarantee that 99% of people watching won't notice. And I'll lose 3 or 4 hours to building this thing. And I'll get it to a point where it's so perfectly produced that the majority of people will have no idea that I've even made a change or that I've done a thing. And I go, oh, there's a cool thing. Took me 4 hours, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, is that really worth it? Have I actually added anything to the production overall? The argument normally is no. And so have I added to the revenue generation? The argument normally is no. At that point, that was a bad hyperfocus. Although sometimes, if you've got the time, it's like, let yourself go, let you do it, because you'll tick a box and you'll feel a bit more floaty. You'll feel like you've emptied your cup a bit. You're a bit happy because you've achieved something that you specifically wanted to achieve. It's irrelevant whether other people notice or recognise it or not. That's the other thing I think to be aware of hyperfocus. If an individual goes, don't hyperfocus on that, but you really want to, sometimes it's okay to do that. If you feel like, you know what, I've got the capacity, I've got the time, do it. Because once you've achieved that thing, your cup empties slightly of all the burden that sits within that cup, and you go, I feel better because I did that thing, and that's a positive thing.
My biggest clue when the boys are having an ADHD moment is, James is adorable when this happens, particularly in maths, something that requires some serious focus and concentration. I'll be talking to him about something with maths, and I'll be pointing at the page, looking at the page, and I'll look up at him and he'll be staring out the window. Old me, before I became educated in the realms of Sen, would have been like, why aren't you listening? You've asked for my help and I've just gone on about this. Why haven't you been listening? Instead, I now go, what bit did you hear?
Yeah, when did you switch off?
When did you check out? And now, instead of him being, oh God, mum's looking at me, she's asked me a question, I'm just going to say an answer, purple. And then bang, parent gets pissed off because I've tried to help you after you asked for the help, blah, blah, blah. So then I just retrace my steps. And even Ben had it. And I'm so grateful for James being who he is, because your first child is kind of like the first pancake.
Test subject.
Yeah. Patient zero.
Yeah.
And you sort of cut your teeth, if you like, on baby number one, because you think you know what parent you're going to be, and then you have a real baby and you go, oh shit, that Mary Poppins act doesn't work. I need to be a bit more robust in this area that I didn't even anticipate would be a thing. So then by the time Ben came along, I was much more informed, much calmer, knew what motherhood looked like, considering the gene pool that we create. So someone else's home will be very different to how ours functions. But Ben, who's never been to school, so never had like that classroom shame of, Dempsey, what did I just say? He's never had that. He's never been to even preschool. So when I did the whole looking down at the maths, I looked up at him and he's daydreamed and just checked out. And you can see it because the pupils dilate when you can see it. I then say, I'm not mad. I'm not going to get mad. And he's
disappointed.
Just the relief on him was really interesting. His shoulders dropped and he went, oh, phew. And I thought, where did you... Because you've never been in a classroom.
Yeah.
Where did you get that from? So I can only assume it's from cartoons, because he also raises his hand.
Yeah.
And I go, Ben, put your hand down. You can just use the toilet. You don't need to ask.
Sean says sometimes there's a benefit from doing something that gives you new skills that you can apply later to something that will generate revenue. So yeah, you're right. In the long term, 100%. In the short term, however, you could argue that letting yourself go and doing that thing is of no benefit. But I think that actually quite the opposite. I think that although it might not benefit revenue and it might not change the way that the stream comes across, and it might not mean that we get to 200 members, or it might not mean we might hit a super chat record, I think the mental benefit from doing a thing and achieving a thing, for me, often is more important than the potential revenue it's going to generate. Now, sometimes if everything I was doing, if every change I was making never ever converted into revenue generation or view generation or subscriber engagement or whatever, I would then argue that it's negative, right? Because it's not making any difference. But if I do a change that is positive engagement, or do a change which is no positive engagement, doesn't make any difference at all, but I've satisfied something and I feel achieved, I think that stays positive, okay? And I think that's important, is recognizing that a thing doesn't necessarily have to do something like generate revenue or earn you a medal to be a positive thing that you've achieved. An achievement, I'm not a person who personally believes in things like participation medals for kids nowadays. I don't think you should get a medal for losing. You fucking lost. You don't deserve a medal. But I do think that recognizing that my achievement is different to Lucy's achievement, and Lucy's achievement is different to your achievement, and your achievement is different to blah, 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 etc., is an important thing to recognize, and that not necessarily do we have to hold everybody to a specific benchmark or standard, which is not quite how the world works, right? Because when you look at things like exams and what have you, and we talked recently about degrees and the pass mark required for degrees and stuff, I think it's interesting that we hold people to a standardized benchmark to go, you're now qualified in that thing. And I don't necessarily 100% believe in that. So one of the bonuses we have by our kids not going to school, for example, is there's an argument to say that if James is absolutely dog shit at science, you don't actually have to ever put him in for a science exam. Mm-hmm. And it might be that his career choice never requires him to have any kind of science qualification whatsoever. So why would you bother focusing on that particular qualification? However, our education choice might identify that he's got a natural talent for maths. What we might do at that point, I'm a person... We spoke about this with a friend of ours recently. I'm a person who's like, he's failing at science, he's succeeding at maths. I wouldn't get him a science tutor. fuck that. He's got no interest. He's not doing very well. Chin it off. Don't do it. Let's focus on the thing you're good at. Let's really push that thing you're good at and make you unbelievably good at that thing.
There's some things that I need the boys to not be fantastic at, but I need them to be decent at, because it is a life skill. This will keep cropping up. If they don't learn how to do it now, we're only going to bump into it in the future, so let's learn it now. If I can't reach them educationally, they're not checked out kids. They are engaged.
Yeah.
So then that's on me to find another way. How can I make this topic fun? For example, our last term, I've called it sweeps term, because anything we were too sick to do, or that we had burnout for, or that it rained so we couldn't do it outside, we put it in sweeps term and we come back to it. Thursday we go back to it. So I've got a whole folder full of stuff that dates back to January. And I'm going to do, the board game Trivial Pursuit?
Yeah.
I'm going to make wedges, one for geography, one for culture studies, one for like your core subjects, maths and English, one for science. And they have an opportunity to win a chocolate bar every Friday.
Can I play?
You can play if you want. You can go, that program, Are You Smarter Than a 10-year-old?
I
You
will
can
fail.
do stuff.
Let's not do that. I might feel bad.
But they have an opportunity to win a chocolate bar. Not only, there you go, I've got the neurotransmitters firing off because there's a chocolate bar in it for you, but I'm testing retained learning.
Yeah, of course.
And if they don't remember it, maybe I didn't make it engaging enough
Yeah.
for them to hold on to this piece of information. And it's not all irrelevant. Some of it, what was the point in learning that? What was the point of, I don't know, learning about an umbrella? Because you just never know. That could have led on to a STEM topic. Or it could have led on to what is in rainwater that flowers like so much. Why is tap water not very good for flowers? Why is it the rainwater despite the air pollution? You never know where these topics go.
No, and you also never know where the inspiration's going to hit them as well, which is important.
Exactly that.
Cornet Ed, thank you for 5 gifted memberships, you fucking sexual human being. How you doing, dude? I miss you. And Neil Whittle, thank you for the 5 gifted. He says he paid his late fee. What a legend. Wee Man, thank you for the 5 gifted as well. Oh, look at the number. Are you ready for the number, Lise? It's a fancy number. I love the fact that it takes so long to get through.
What, for me?
Yeah, because you watch on delay, because I don't give you a live screen.
So I'm looking forward to sweeps term. It's always a good one.
Thank you, Iman, for 5 gifted. Thank you, Neil.
But
thank you, Cornet. We're on 169.
if I've also made it super engaging, I'm interested in this topic. If I've made it super engaging and it's still not happened, then maybe just the time isn't now, and maybe it does need to be a future topic.
Yeah. Pridders, I don't know if you're still in chat. I think you said you want me to go for my Dark Angels list, right? There was 8 minutes left. So talk about hyperfocus. So I'm at the moment I'm hyperfocusing in on trying to get myself a list ready for events, because 2025, Joe, Paddy and I have agreed to do more events. Now, I'm not saying we're going to go weekly or monthly, because that would be mental, but I went to one this year, and I've got an RTT in December. I'd like to do 4 or 5 next year, especially if they're big events where we can meet more of you people in the community, right? Yes, and thank you for the 1 gifted. 30 to go, chat. 30 to go. And so I want to go to more events. So what I'm trying to do at the moment, my hyperfocus currently within 40k, is trying to find a list and an army that I can settle on that I think will be fun to play, that I'll enjoy myself with, that could perform okay at events. The specific there is that I'm not interested in necessarily going to win any kind of RTT, GT or major event, because I don't think I've got it in me. I don't think I can be that kind of player. When I'm playing an opponent at a tournament, I'm far too interested in having a laugh, having fun, and most importantly, and I think more people should and could do this, my biggest focus when I go to a tournament is trying to ensure that my opponent has a fun experience. The favourite game vote, the favourite player vote, is far more valuable to me than any trophy you can ever give me for first, second, or third. 100%. It's the only one I've ever cared about. Whenever I used to go and play GTs regularly at places like Factorum, the thing that I used to say to them is, don't care about how many points I've got, how many favourite game votes did I get. That's all I gave a shit about. That's all I cared about, right? It was because I think that's the nicest way people can play the game. And if I get 5 game votes, for example, and I've had it before, where all 5 of my opponents left the weekend and went, my favourite game was against Liam, I've done a good job. My opponents have all enjoyed their game against me. I've done a good job there. They've all had fun playing against me. That's a good experience, right? It's a positive experience. That being said, I also need to make sure I have a list that actually functions and works. And I learned this from the Hellstorm tournament that we went to recently up to north with Mikey. So I have recently been flicking between World Eaters, Eldar, Ultramarines, and Dark Angels to try and put together a list that I think functions in 10th edition and would in fact be fun for me to run. What we can do tomorrow night, because we're going to finish in 5 minutes, what we can do tomorrow night for the stream, for the Warhammer show, is I can take you through my process. Because I can now screen share. I can now screen share my phone and take you through my lists and take you through my process. And that way, I can sort of explain to you why I've put units in and etc. And maybe some people get some value out of that. I feel like say that you want to go to more events next year every year, but it always seems to end up the same. We haven't gone to... Yeah, I don't ever go to as many as I want, huzzah, to be honest with you. This year was weird because I was really disenfranchised with 40k for a large portion of it. Real life takes over quite often as well, but things are starting to settle a little bit. Touch wood. So maybe. But if you're interested in that as a stream, tomorrow's stream can be how to build a list for 10th edition. And if you definitely want to win in 10th edition, how to win 10th edition, play against Joe. Because he can't fucking get a win for love and the money at the moment. We have got 4 minutes before Loose Fact, and we're going to end the stream. 30 gifted to go. Can you earn yourselves a t-shirt giveaway in the last 4 minutes? Have you checked the data sheet for the Space Marine Centurion Devastator Squad, building 6 as we speak? Yeah, right, so... we can go through this as well with the list building, but one of the big things for me, and a lot of people don't agree with this and don't do this, one of the big things for me is look at data sheet. Oh, data sheet looks interesting. Go look at model. Model's ugly as fuck. Not interested. I won't take it. Aim for more than 4 days holiday next year, Muppet. We are actually aiming for more than 4. Next year, we're aiming to do the same 4 days, but maybe 2 to 3 times. But we'll see if we can hit 200 gifted in the next 3 minutes. Not 200 in 3 minutes, 30 more, but you know. You should rent Joe out for people down on their 40k luck and feeling bad. Yeah, rent him out as an easy fuck, 100%. Sometimes forget this is a Warhammer stream. I mean, that's good though. That's kind of my intent, Edward, I'll be honest. I've said this forever. I'll say this forevermore. Warhammer's the reason we find each other. It's not the reason we stay together. That's important. 30 gifted to go. Warhammer's the reason we find each other. Gifted memberships is the reason I stay around. Which app do you use to write lists? The Warhammer app. 100% I use the Warhammer app, without doubt. I think it's the best list builder at the moment. Apart from the fact that it's paywalled. That aside, I think it's the best list builder. The thing is as well, I have to add this caveat. Yes, I use the Warhammer app, but I also don't pay for codexes, so that I have that benefit, right? Piewalker, thank you for 5 gifted.
Do we have to donor 6.5k to learn about lists?
Yep, go. Now. Exclamation mark PayPal. Piewalker, thank you for the 5 gifted.
I have a hyperfocus question.
Okay, hit me.
Are you able to ration the hyperfocus?
What do you mean? Explain what you mean by ration hyperfocus.
Are you able to see a block of time in the future and park your excitement until then?
No.
Oh, really?
No, I've not been able to do that.
I think that's how I got so sucked into my skirt, because I knew this is the time I have.
I am able to, if I see a period of time and I have a task to do, I am able to force myself to do the task in that time. Sometimes it's difficult because it fights against my ADHD. And this is one of the things I've talked about forever when I talk about my autism and my ADHD. And I always say things like, it's a reason, not an excuse. So growing up, you can call this a benefit, you can call this a negative. It depends on your outlook. My family and my parents were people that were like, ADHD and autism isn't a thing. It's an excuse for naughty kids, etc., etc. You know, the typical kind of things that parents of our generation used to kind of label those conditions with. Which I don't buy into that rhetoric, by the way, but that is the message that was about. So when I was struggling to focus on something or whatever, it wasn't a case of he's got ADHD. We understand. It was a case of you got to learn, or you've got to do your training, or whatever it might be, right? Which on the one hand is quite harsh when it's not something you can help, but it's kind of a condition that is quite harsh. On the other hand, it meant that when I moved into the adult world, there were some times when I came up against experiences where I was like, I don't want to do this, but I had to do it for whatever reason. And it could be training things in the army, it could be part of my management jobs, etc. And one of the things I'm actually slightly grateful for was I kind of learned a skill where I was like, I don't want to do it, but it needs doing. It does need to be done.
Do you find when you have a skill that you have to learn and you don't want to learn, it takes like 5 times as long to learn it?
If I need to learn the skill, I find, yes, if I'm not interested in it, if I don't want that skill, it can be harder to focus and actually learn it. Now, I've always been quite lucky that I have a form of eidetic memory. Now, where I was supremely lucky with things like my ADHD and my hyperfocus was that I could read a précis or a textbook. I could not understand it because I didn't want to learn it, so I wasn't fucking bothered. I could then sit the exam and pass it with an 80 to 90% pass mark, just because of my eidetic memory. So I'd read the question, look at the available answers, and be like, well, it's that answer. I don't understand why it's that answer. I just know that I can kind of picture it almost. It's not quite photographic. It's not a photographic memory. But I'd be like, I remember what that is. I know what that answer is.
I've had to find very simple but absolutely correct direct ways to get things through to the boys. So Ben is learning very simple fractions, and I wonder if fractions in general, it's just not for 6 and 7 year olds.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's quite complicated.
So then I'm faced with the minute I stop here on this workbook and I go, we're not ready for that yet, pop it. We'll try again next year. Because maths is a cumulative topic, how much of the workbook is going to keep referring back?
You also have to remember as well, though, that when you have what's the word I'm looking for? When you have the kids must be at this level and syllabus. When you have a syllabus for children, and the syllabus is for 6 to 7 year olds or 7 to 8 year olds, whatever, what they've done is they've taken every child in a spectrum from the least performing to the highest performing. They've gone bang. There's your average. That's your spectrum. That's your
syllabus.
Your syllabus. Thank you. I keep forgetting that word for some reason. That's your syllabus. And it might be that for maths specifically, our youngest, when you look at the spectrum for the highest to the lowest, he might be somewhere down here somewhere. He's not the lowest. But he's actually behind the schedule because his brain isn't able to process maths in that way right now.
So we're also having global developmental delay. So then I see the year 2 workbook and I go, right, we're gonna come and get that later. We're actually gonna go back to year 1 and see how much of this you just breeze through now.
Yeah.
I'd rather you in delicate topics like maths, I'd rather you find it a bit of a bird course, but we're happy to return to the dinner table when I say the word maths, than get reduced to tears and I can't find the simple yet absolutely correct way to expose you to this thing for the first time.
Yeah.
Because what a lot of grown-ups do is, if what they've said is simple and absolutely correct and it's still reduced their little one to tears, they're then trying to re-jargon to save the feelings.
I think if I was the one applying the learning, I think I'd be like, I'll try 3 approaches to the topic. If at the end of the 3rd approach they're still not comprehending the topic, like, you know what, not now.
Yeah, not now.
Let's dump it and let's revisit it in 6 months' time, because kids, of course, are constantly developing and constantly growing and engaging. And there's times when we look at our youngest and go, where the fuck did he learn to do that? Because they develop often right under our noses without us seeing it as well.
Yeah.
Friendly neighbourhood inquisitor says, Hayley, it's been a long time since I tuned in. How are you doing? I'm fine, apart from the fact you've just told me you haven't tuned in for ages. Where have you been?
What has saved us is when I know that we've got a tricky topic, is the 30-minute timers.
That they know there's an end coming.
They know there's nothing worse than sitting down for an hour in a classroom and putting your hand up to say, Miss, I've done it, and your reward for doing your work is getting more
Yeah.
work.
So but also with ADHD as well, when you know that there's an end to this thing that I don't want to do and I don't want to sit here,
Yeah.
it makes it easier to stomach the time that you have to sit there because you know there's an end coming.
Yeah.
And every second you sit there, you're closer to the end,
Yeah.
which is a way to look at it.
Time does not stop.
Edward says, did the army help with your ADHD? It's hard to say because I think I've only really become like actually properly aware of everything in the last maybe 4 years, since COVID specifically. It's hard to say whether the army actually helped or not. But my professional career in general, my childhood, and I would argue that the army was the biggest portion of my professional career. I spent 10 years in the army, followed by 5 years in rail or something, in management in rail, before I then did this, or something along those lines. So the army was the largest portion of my professional career in general. I would suggest that it definitely had an influence on the way I behave today and the way I approach things. And I think that sometimes I would argue that controversial here, chat. Thankfully, we've slimmed down to the loyal people. I would argue that sometimes learning that you've got to do it because you've got to do it is a positive. And I don't buy into the narrative that you never have to do anything you don't want to do. Bullshit. Life is fucking hard. And I feel like you've got to earn your living and work for a living. And sometimes that means you've got to do things you don't want to do. And I've had tasks I've had to do that I don't want to do. I've had engineering jobs I've had to do that I don't want to do. I've had conversations with employees that I don't want to have, that I've had to have. I've had to discipline people that I don't want to do. I don't like disciplining people. It's contrary to popular belief, right? As a manager, when I worked at Siemens, specifically as a manager, and I was on site all the time with my team of 19 people, in 3.5 years, I think I raised my voice like 4 times in total. I don't like being angry. I think the biggest power as a manager is when you don't have to say a fucking word and your staff are like, oh shit. Like, I think that's when you've gone, I'm doing a good job managing here. Because I think if you have to shout every day to get anything out of your staff, you've lost your team already. And that's the same for kids. Right? I've said this before. Escalation. Right? We know people who go from 0 to 100 in their escalation process like that. And then it won't be long before their kids have been shouted at, told off, or whatever the punishment might be. And I'm like, where do you escalate from here? So what they've done, I would argue, is a tiny misdemeanor. And you've gone to 100 miles an hour immediately with your punishment. So where do you escalate to now? Because if they realise that this is your max, this is your 100 mile an hour, they're like, well, what's there to be fearful of going forward? Because no matter what I do, they're going to go to 100 mile an hour. So I don't really fear the repercussion anymore.
Or you get a super anxious kid.
Well, absolutely, of course, yeah. Which is a whole other implication, right? I feel like when it comes to staff, children, etc., you don't want to be going to 100% every time. You want to be typically going to 5-10%. If you need a reason to go away from your kind of middle ground, 5-10%. And then they've annoyed you a bit more. You've got the headroom to go to 20%. And then when they've really fucking pissed you off, and I mean really pissed me off, I'd go to 60 or 70%. Which means that if I ever hit 100%, they're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Now we've really fucked up. I think that's really important. But sometimes people would fuck up enough that you would need to pull them in for things like disciplinaries and have conversations with them. And one individual, I had to suspend from work. You remember this? Mm-hmm. I did not want to have that conversation. I did it because I had to, because it's my job. And I pulled him into the office and I pulled a witness in. And I said, ever so sorry, here's your suspension letter. You're going home. And here's the reasons why. And here's the detailed reasons why. And I have my witness here to make sure that you've been treated fairly, you've been given all the correct notice, etc., all the correct paperwork. I'm going to leave. They're going to stay with you because I'm now public enemy number 1 because I've just suspended you from work, which means there's an investigation and you could lose your job. Did I want to have that conversation? Did I fuck? Is it comfortable? Not at all. Did I learn that I had to do things sometimes that I wasn't comfortable with? Yeah. Did the army teach me that? Probably. Almost definitely.
Yeah.
So did the army help with my ADHD? Yes, I think so. Whether that specific example I've just given is ADHD related or not, I don't know. But the army definitely taught me that sometimes you have to do things that you're not comfortable with or you don't want to do. And I think that sometimes with ADHD, where you want to hyper focus on something and you can't because you've got to do something else, or you don't want to do something but you have to, and you're like ADHD sometimes will mean that you will come up with anything to get you out doing the thing that you want to do. Oh, I should clean my desk, but instead I'll find a reason to polish the fireplace.
Demand avoidance.
Right, exactly. That's ADHD. It's an ADHD trait, right? 100%. So I should really do my accounts, but I could go and polish my bike.
Well, there's no dopamine in the accounts.
Right. And the army definitely taught me that sometimes you have to do the thing that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Especially in high stress environment when that thing that you don't want to do, if you don't do it, has consequence. I think that was one of the big things. So long answer to your question, Edward. But yeah, I think it did help, ultimately. You've all been chatting and I've been talking away. Right, anyway, we are now 10 minutes over target. I was like, we'll chat like this. We'll talk intelligently for an extra 10 minutes and we'll get the 25 gifted memberships. They said no, Luce. I think it's your fault.
It's always my fault.
Yeah. I've had to sack 2 people calmly, but one of them apologised to me. Man, I felt even worse. Well, the guy... So I won't delve into detail because confidentiality. The guy that I suspended made my fucking life very easy after that. Because of the way in which they responded to their situation, which was very much their fault.
Mm.
He made... This, I'm with you, Grumpage. If someone was like, I'm really sorry, I fucked up, I'd be like, oh no, I feel shit about sacking you. Because you're showing genuine remorse.
Yeah.
But when the person responds the way in which the individual that I dealt with responded, I'm like, don't feel so bad about it now.
I have a different way of seeing you have to do things you don't want to do. Totally agree. We all have to do things we don't want to do.
That's life.
It is. And we can't just walk around only doing the things we want to do. If we all have our own agendas all the time, there's no community effort to push forward.
Yep. Yep.
So my different mantra is find the joy in what you have. We've all had a shit job and we've all thought it can't get any shitter, and guess what, it did. We've all been there. And instead of moping around and bringing the general tone down so that everybody feels shit around you, why don't you actually be grateful for what you do have and the fact that you get to go to work? Because there are some people who can't find a job doing anything.
I think that's important. I think the other part of that, I think, may I add a second part to that as well, is sometimes it's also being okay with your ceiling.
Yeah.
And I think that everybody has a different stage of the mountain where they get fed up of climbing. And I feel like everybody gets to a point in that mountain climb where they're comfortable. Yeah. And they're like, I'm done here. This is my summit.
I like the view here.
Yeah, this is my summit, right?
It nearly killed me getting here. I don't want to go any further.
I remember having a member of staff and we would do 6 monthly reviews and annual main reports. And I remember the first review I did with this member of staff, he came in very nervously and I'd only been there for a few months and he was due a 6 monthly. I sat down with this individual and he said, and there was a template you used to have to go through, which was like, how do you think you're performing? Blah, blah, blah. What courses do you want to do? Where do you want your career to go, etc., etc., etc. Those kinds of questions. These aren't specifics, but those kinds of questions, right? I remember sitting down with this and he sat down very nervously with me, like on edge, like standoffish almost. And so I went through the questions. It's like, right, courses and qualifications. Is there any other courses and qualifications that you particularly want? Because I'd get information from them about what they want to do, and I'd do my best as a manager to facilitate their career progression, essentially. Because if we got more trained, more qualified people promoted through the business, it was better for the business overall. Okay, as is true with any business ultimately. And I was never a manager that would believe in, I want to suppress what you're able to do so I can keep you in one place. I'm like, I will fucking build you the wings. It's up to you if you fly or not. And if you fly, great. Because although you leave my team, it's good for the business. And I care about the business, not my team necessarily. So like, any courses or qualifications you want to do? No boss. Right? He was really nervous. And he was, we had technician grades. A technician grade starts with a T and then there's a number afterwards. T1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You couldn't be a T1. That was no qualification skills. It was cleaner. We were running technician teams that were maintaining trains. So we had T2s, 3s, 4s, 5s and 6s. This guy was a T2. And within each T grade there was bands, A, B and C. A being the lowest, C being the highest. That's about pay scales within the particular grade. This guy was a T2C, right? So he's the top of a T2. T3 requires Or was he a T? No, he might be a T3C. T4 requires additional qualifications to get to that grade. Otherwise, you can't justify the pay. So it's like, so where do you want, like, what's your next steps? He said, what do you mean? What do you want to do? Are you looking to go to deputy supervisor? Are you looking to be a supervisor? Do you want to be a depot controller? Do you want to do this course? Do you want to do that course? Do you want to promote? How soon do you want to promote? He's like, nope. I said, what do you mean no? He said, nope.
Yeah.
I said, so what do you want to do? He's like, exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So you don't want to do any courses? Nope. You don't want any promotion? Nope. I said, you don't want any more responsibility? Nope. I was like, okay. And he went, is that it? And I went, yes. Is this a trick? He went, well, my old boss, your predecessor, would get really pissy with me because I don't want to progress. I was like, but you need the shop floor workers in any business.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of businesses forget this. It doesn't matter if it's your Joes at the studio, if it's your shelf stackers in the supermarket, if it's your postman walking around. It doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah.
If you do not have those base workers, your business doesn't work.
I had a very similar appraisal, and the line of work I've always been in is predominantly female. Caring doesn't really attract many male carers. Maybe it's changed now. I hope it is, because men have got just as much to offer as women have in that sector.
I think men are less caring. Carry on.
But then
You finish your story first.
I know a lot of female carers that should not be carers. So
Yeah, true. Okay, yeah.
And I had my appraisal, and it was, did you want to become a senior or like a manager of some kind? And I said no. And she said, why not? And I said, because it's easier to replace me when school call, because we were having a bit of a bad patch with James. So when they call, not if they call, when they call, I need to go.
Yeah.
It's easier to replace me as a butt-fuck carer than
Please don't fuck their butts as a carer.
than some kind of senior, because a senior is responsible for the whole shift, and I can't just go. I mean, I'm saying I can't just go. I will be going. School call me. I'm dust. I'm out the door, because nothing interests me more than the welfare of my child. So I am going.
Yeah.
So I didn't want the promotion. I didn't have mental room for that stress, because James was already pulling at every thread. So.
And I think we live in a weird world where everyone's like, everyone should want to promote all the time. I'm like, no, I don't think so.
No.
And I think finding your ceiling, finding the point of the mountain where you're happy, is a really positive thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? You might get to that summit, you might get to that point in the mountain where you're happy, and you might be happy there for 5 years. And then after 5 years, you might be like, I could do a bit more climbing now.
Do you know what? I think if I was still in care, I think that would happen probably around now. James is nearly a teenager. I feel like he's fairly consistent. Ben is getting comfortable in his skin. He's also fairly consistent. And now I have mental capacity for other areas.
Yeah, and you can look up that mountain and be like, I could climb a bit further now.
So,
100%.
and if the opportunities, if I was still in work and I said to my boss, is that promotion still there? And she was like, sorry, I had to give it to, I don't know, Susan. Well, then that's just shit luck for me.
Yeah.
I turned it down at the time. It's not there now.
How do we always fall into these really serious chats?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Look at that. More than just Warhammer. Just saying.
I think I want some cereal. I think I'm hungry.
Oh. I mean, I could eat
Are we having midnight munchies?
kebab.
No, I'm not having a kebab. No, that's just... No. It'll make my ovaries hurt. I'm not eating it. I'm not doing it. I'm going to have cereal.
Right, people. You've been amazing. Do you know what I'm going to do for you anyway? I'm going to do you another t-shirt giveaway. Fuck it. Because you've been amazing. 175 new members. I don't know what the super chat total is. I don't fucking care at this point. You've been amazing. We currently have some people in with a t-shirt giveaway. Not as many as I think should be in with a t-shirt giveaway. I'm going to... What are we going to do? How are we going to fix this? Because every time YouTube boots me out, it breaks my giveaway bot. I'm going to refresh my giveaway bot now. So no one's entered right now. Okay. T-shirt all one word as pinned. Bloody Susan, am I right? Yeah, 100%. Bloody Susan. So t-shirt all one word, go. It's a fresh giveaway now. We didn't hit 200, but I'm going to do a giveaway t-shirt anyway.
This is why, looking back, schools are really shit. Push you to uni. If I could go back, I wish they would have taught me a trade like carpentry or professional Lego builder.
Professional Lego builder is where it's at, Yeston, 100%. So one of the best things I ever did actually was join the army, only because I went and did a trade. So when I joined up, I was 18 years old, and I did my basic training, and then went into a trade, and I learnt to become an aircraft engineer. So I joined up at 2005. So I joined at 17, turned 18, I think, or I joined at 18, turned 19. One of those two. I'm not sure. I finished my basic training on the 13th of January, 2006. I then got posted to my first training unit at Arborfield in Reading. I did 18 months training in Arborfield in Reading. And the training was to turn me into an aircraft technician. So I didn't do university. I did college, but I didn't do university. And I'm so fucking glad that I went down that route. I'm so glad I went down that route. I've got friends that have gone, yeah, well, you never did the uni thing. No, I'm glad I didn't do the uni thing. I'm glad I didn't hit thousands of pounds off of debt to get some qualification that I might have used. Brom went to university in Portsmouth, got himself a degree that he basically doesn't use. I love the bloke. He's fucking incredible. But, that's 3 years of education doesn't really use now.
Yeah.
Now, it's useful when it's in a way, because it's useful to go, I have the discipline to get that kind of education. That's important. But he hasn't actually used the qualification at all, necessarily. I use my aircraft qualification for the next 8 years of my career, because that's what I trained to do, and I went into that job straight away. I think vocational training and vocational work and trade-based work is as important as any kind of uni course, personally. Right, so 2 minutes, and we're going to do the giveaway. We're well over time now, because we talked about something that Luce and I are very passionate about, so we end up getting distracted. If you want us to stay on for longer, that's how to do it. However. I said too many howevers. However's now, however. It's lost all meaning. However.
We do now have.
However. However. You know when you say a word too much, it doesn't sound right anymore.
Yeah.
What's it called? There's a name for that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's on Ted Lasso. But
Lasso.
I don't know why I say it like that. Ted Lasso.
Lasso.
It sounds like some kind of
However.
dish. I'll have the Ted Lasso.
It is, in fact, time
Sauce
at the
on
end
the
of the
side.
stream for Loose Fact. You've got one, right?
Yeah.
So this is where you choose whether it's true or false. Loose or loose. If it's true, you spell it as per her name. If it's false, you say Loose. It's loose. It's not tight as a fact. Loose, in fact, as a fact. Loose fact. Right? You ready? Go.
The swamp wallaby is the only mammal that is permanently pregnant throughout its life.
Bullshit. How can it be permanently pregnant?
It is a trait of marsupials like kangaroos and wallabies.
So it never gives birth.
No, it just keeps making babies.
But it can't.
Constantly
There's
pregnant.
no way the baby is out instantly pregnant again.
No, because they've got two uteruses.
This sounds like
Two
bullshit.
uteri.
So how are they made pregnant?
Well, obviously they have sex.
So if you're an ugly wallaby.
This is the most bizarre angle you're going down to disprove my fact.
I think this is bullshit. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Wow.
Chat are agreeing as well. They also think
You're
it's
just
bullshit.
jealous because no one's used your uterus yet.
No, they haven't. No, and I have got one. It is 2024. Even when it's a baby, yeah, exactly. Bullshit. It's not like. So you're telling me that a 1 day old wallaby.
It's not out of the pouch yet.
What did you read out? What was the statement you read out? Word for word.
The swamp wallaby is the only mammal that is permanently pregnant throughout its life.
Perm-
According to new research about the
Well,
reproductive habits of marsupials.
Permanently pregnant throughout its life. So
Yeah.
a 1 day old wallaby is
Yeah.
pregnant.
No, because that's
No,
a
so-
fetus.
A 1 day old wallaby is not a fetus. It's 1 day
You
old.
don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet.
It's irrelevant. It's been born.
It's not out of the pouch.
Okay, so when it steps out of the pouch, it's immediately pregnant.
What is a male wallaby getting in the pouch?
There's holes here, chat. There's holes here throughout its life.
Few days off and Luce has obviously lost her mind.
I'm saying that's bullshit, by the way, because there's no way that a brand new born wallaby is pregnant. So it can't be permanently pregnant throughout its life. Loose fact. And they're not. The other reason why that's bollocks as well is because they're not called wallabies.
No, I know. They're called bouncy mouse.
Bouncy mouse.
Yeah.
It's not a wallaby, it's a bouncy mouse.
What about a kangaroo then? A big bouncy mouse.
It's a big bouncy mouse, yeah. Absolute nonsense. There's holes here, is what the male wallaby said. Right, chat. Thank you so much for all your incredible support tonight. Thank you for all the gifted memberships. 175. I'm really sad we couldn't round it off at 200, but you have been incredible, and I'm very grateful for that, at least. So thank you so much for the 175 gifted memberships, proving that people who missed us. All right, you're amazing. Tomorrow night, we've got the Warhammer show at 7:30. We'll go through building lists in 10th edition. I think it could be super interesting. I'll have the phone up on screen. I'll take you through my process. And if you throw a faction at me, there is one that I know relatively well. Potentially, we can build some lists tomorrow as well. On Thursday, we do come back with a Liam and Joe special on Thursday lunchtime, where I'm going to learn Horsey Heresy with Mr. John McCardle. And then in the evening, we're doing a live game of Horus Heresy World Eaters versus Alpha Legion with John on air. With a first ever, hopefully one of many live studio audiences. There's no 40k show on Friday because I've got the Thanes in the studio and they're doing the Inthane Book Club 8 till 10, I think it is, on Friday evening. And then this weekend I have them in. I will be trying to gain some content and do a little behind the scenes video for people. The behind the scenes video that I put out for people will in fact be members only, because it will be shit filming on probably my phone, and I don't want you to take it too seriously, so it will be behind the scenes content, right? So you can look forward to that. Or a t-shirt winner. Let's do that as well. Thank you so much. Bang. There you go. Kai has won himself a t-shirt. Look at that. So look forward to tomorrow night. Look forward to 2 streams on Thursday. Friday we're off, and we'll be back on Monday with a hobby night, sort of. It'll be like Thane's weekend come down. Lots of Talking Head Street. Lots of Talking Head streams, I should say. Thank you. Best chat. Yeah, say it out loud.
Best chat.
There we go. That means it's true. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for 2.5 hours tonight. You people are fucking incredible. We love you very, very dearly. We missed you, and thank you for being there when we came back after my night off. You're amazing. Love you all. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.